So I got home and told my wife Chinga about the whole beast hunting trip. Big mistake. Her eyes lit up like a kid hearing about Disneyland. Wow, that sounds so fun. Like a picnic, she said, rubbing her pregnant belly with this tragic look. I want to try that anesthesia ring too. Catching pigs sounds amazing. Catching pigs. Amazing. My sweet, innocent wife thinks wrestling mutant monsters is a fun weekend activity. I looked at her tiny body and thought, babe, those pigs would catch you. But I'm not stupid enough to say that out loud. I like sleeping indoors. So I patted her head and said, once the baby's out and you've recovered, I'll take you pig hunting wherever you want. Husband of the year, right? Then I checked the time and gave her my best suggestive look. So, I'm back victorious. Shouldn't we celebrate a little? She immediately hugged her chest and scooted into the corner of the couch like I was a wolf. What are you doing? I want hot pot. The look on her face, priceless. She went from terrified to embarrassed to angry in about 2 seconds flat. Then her eyes got all sparkly. I want beef tripe. We ate like kings. After dinner, I brought her some fruit and dropped the real bomb. Babe, I'm applying for the B rank zone next month. She nearly choked on her apple. B rank? Are you crazy? That's full of 2-star beasts and killer wolf packs. We have enough money. Enough money? I sat down and held her hand. Honey, you need top-tier gene potions every day, 5,000 per bottle. That's over 100,000 a month just for your medicine. And once this little money-eating monster comes out, I pointed at her belly. It's a bottomless pit. She bit her lip. She knew I was right. But then came the real knockout punch. Oh, and one more thing I forgot to mention. I took a sip of water, cool as a cucumber. I need to update my rank at the Warrior Association. I'm a 2-star warrior now. Cough, cough, cough. She literally choked on her water. Eyes bulging, water dripping down her chin, staring at me like I just told her I'm secretly a dragon. What? You're 2-star? Your gene development broke 20%. Poor thing. She just hit 1-star a couple days ago and was all proud about finally keeping up with her husband, and now I'm telling her I've already zoomed ahead to 2-star. The gap didn't shrink, it got bigger. I could see her soul leaving her body. When did this happen? She asked, completely stunned. Right before I left the house, I grinned. Thanks to all your hard work these past few days, babe. You really inspired me. Her face turned red. She wanted to smack me, but was too shocked to move. Then I pulled out my inner accountant. Listen, 1-star base pay is 10,000. 2-star is 20,000. B rank zone doubles it. That's 40,000 a month just for showing up? I waved 4 fingers in her face. Plus all the valuable materials from B rank beasts? We're talking serious money here. Her breathing got faster. 40,000 a month. Even her rich family would call that respectable. She squeezed my arm, still half disbelieving. The muscle was rock solid. I saw the worry finally start to fade from her eyes. Then I pulled her into my arms with my best troublemaker smile. Still not sure if I'm really 2-star? How about we run some tests tonight? That night, I opened the Warrior Association app and hit rank change application, 2-star. My finger barely left the screen before my phone started buzzing. 24-hour service? These people weren't kidding. It was Lee Diana, my assigned agent, and she sounded like someone just told her the sky was green. Mr. Chen? Did you tap the wrong button? Fair enough. I registered as a 1-star warrior less than 2 months ago, going from 1-star to 2-star that fast. In this city, only rich kids swimming in expensive potions pull that off. I was casually playing with a strand of Chinga's hair while she slept. Nope. Got lucky. Had a little enlightenment moment. Figured I'd come in tomorrow, get tested, bump up my paycheck. 5 seconds of dead silence. Just heavy breathing on the other end. Enlightenment. I could practically hear her brain short-circuiting. But give the woman credit. She recovered fast. Her voice shot up 3 octaves with pure excitement. Yes. Wonderful. I'll have the VIP room ready for you tomorrow morning. After she hung up, I guarantee that woman was shaking like she'd won the lottery. Which, from her commission's perspective, she basically did. Next morning, Chinga was at the door straightening my collar like a proper little wife. Smoothing every wrinkle, adjusting every crease. Very sweet. Very domestic. Then came the real message. Come straight home after you're done. No wandering around. No extra activities. Her eyes narrowed. Especially with that black stocking-wearing agent of yours. Handle business and only business. Jealous Chinga is absolutely adorable. I pinched her cheek. What kind of extra activities? She glared daggers at me. Babe, I've got a goddess at home. Why would I look at anyone else? I kissed her hand like a gentleman. Coming with me? She shook her head, and her eyes went full warrior mode. No, I'm staying home to train. See, my wife had done some thinking overnight. She realized I was pulling further ahead, and instead of just guarding me from pretty women, she decided to make herself so strong that no woman could compete. That's my girl. Go. Come back soon, she said, pushing me out the door. The second that door closed, I heard her march straight into the gravity training room. Baby, we gotta work hard too. Can't let daddy leave us in the dust. She was talking to our unborn child. My heart melted a little. 20 minutes into my drive, ding. Gene development 0.1%. Current, 26.1%. I looked back toward home. She'd been training for 20 minutes, and I already got a boost. This woman was going absolutely berserk in that training room. Gotta earn more money, I muttered. Can't waste this kind of dedication. I walked into the association building whistling, headed straight to the self-test machine, and threw one punch. Boom. The printer spat out my results like it was scared of me. Punch force, 2,500 kilograms. Gene development, 25%. 2-star, mid-level. Perfect. I wrote down 25% instead of my real 26-point-something because, no need to give people heart attacks. I strolled up to the VIP room on the second floor. Lee Diana was already there, dolled up like she was going to a gala, waiting like a loyal puppy. Mr. Chun, you're here, now. In her mind, she was expecting maybe 20%, maybe 20.5% if she was being generous. The bare minimum to squeak into 2-star territory. The man registered at 15% half a month ago, after all. Then she took my test sheet. Her perfectly manicured hands started trembling. Her flirty eyes went completely round. Her breathing just stopped. 2-star. Mid-level? 25%. She stared at me like I was an alien wearing a human suit. How? How did you train? Because jumping 10% in half a month is basically impossible. Even if you bathed in premium gene serum 24/7, your body couldn't absorb it that fast. The only explanation is either some legendary special physique or actual witchcraft. I just leaned back on the leather couch, completely chill. Like I said, got lucky. Had an enlightenment moment. Plus my wife's pregnant, so I need that milk powder money. Can't afford to slack off. I checked my watch. Xiaoya, stop staring and process my paperwork. I gotta get home to my wife. All right. Yes. Immediately, she snapped out of it and started typing like her keyboard owed her money. And the way she looked at me now, it wasn't just respect anymore. It was reverence. Like she was staring at a stock that was about to go nuclear, and she was the only one holding shares. I could almost see the dollar signs spinning in her eyes. Ding! Mr. Chun, your warrior info has been updated. Starting next month, your account will receive 40,000 credits automatically. 40,000 a month. In this world, regular people make 3 or 4,000. I was now earning someone's entire yearly salary every single month. And the best part? This money existed because my wife was killing herself in a training room. Honestly, money earned through your wife's sweat just hits different. I stood up to leave, but Lee Diana wasn't done with me. She jumped out of her chair, click-clacked around the desk in her heels, and strategically positioned herself between me and the door. Mr. Chun, B-rank zones are very dangerous. Bloodthirsty wolves, iron-hide bears. She looked up at me with those bedroom eyes, voice turning all honey sweet. I have intel and safe route maps from my warrior friends. Maybe, tonight, I could treat you to dinner and go over everything in detail, subtle as a brick through a window, this woman. And look, I'm not gonna lie. For about half a second, my brain went, she's attractive, she's offering free food and useful intel. Then I remembered my pregnant wife at home. The same pregnant wife whose training sessions literally power up my abilities. Blowing that up would be the dumbest move in history. Xiaoya, just email me the files. Dinner? Maybe next time. I sidestepped her and walked out without looking back. I'm pretty sure I heard her mutter something behind me about, no way he's actually faithful, and he must really be a kept man. Lady, think whatever you want. This kept man is going home. Back at the apartment, Chinga and I had a talk. She'd been working at the third slaughterhouse, basically a nightmare factory with blood everywhere. And now that she was pregnant and we had actual money, there was zero reason for her to keep going. Babe, stay home. Train. Practice the thunder breathing technique. That place is gross, bloody, and bad for the baby. She pouted a little. I think she actually enjoyed pretending the meat was her enemies while she chopped, but she agreed. Fine, I'll quit. But what about you? Where will you get high-grade materials? I grinned. I'm moving up. Tomorrow, I'm interviewing at the second slaughterhouse. The second slaughterhouse was a whole different league. Electric fences on the walls, armored refrigerated trucks rolling in and out. This place was basically a military base that happened to process monsters. I walked into the hiring office. The recruiter was a big bald dude with a face like a clenched fist. Name, Chinyi. Age, 20. Rank, 2-star, mid-level. His sleepy eyes snapped wide open. He looked at me like I was a talking dog. 20 years old. 2-star mid-level. He scanned my ID. Beeped clean. Huh. Actual genius material. Then he leaned back and crossed his arms. Kid, with your stats you could be a martial arts instructor or a bodyguard for some rich CEO. Why come here to butcher animals? Besides, he tapped the desk. We have standards. We handle ironhide bears and shadow leopards here. One wrong cut, and you rupture the gallbladder or scratch the hide. Then you pay for the damage. So, can you actually do this? I just smiled, reached into my bag, and pulled out my trusty alloy dissection knife. Half a month of daily use had worn the edge a bit, but I'd polished it mirror bright. It practically hummed with murderous energy. Boss, talking's cheap. Got anything I can work on? Let me show you. His eyebrow went up. Respect. Follow me. We just got a shipment of ironhide bears. You break one down in 3 hours. The job's yours. He led me into the precision workshop, sterile, sealed, everyone in white hazmat suits. Lying on a massive hydraulic table was an ironhide bear, 3 meters long, built like an armored truck. This thing's skin could stop bullets. Baldy pointed at the beast and laid down the rules. Hide peeled off in one piece. No scratches. Gallbladder removed whole. Not a single nick. Paws separated along the joint lines. 3 hours. Go. I looked at that enormous bear, twirled my knife between my fingers, and thought, buddy, you have no idea how many animals I've taken apart these past 2 weeks. Let's dance. The veteran workers gathered around like it was fight night. I could hear them placing mental bets. Think this kid can handle it? No chance. Ironhide bear skin sticks to the meat like glue. Takes years to learn. Look at those baby hands. Bet he can't even hold the knife steady. I tuned them all out, stepped up to the table, and took one deep breath. Everything clicked. My master-level dissection skills combined with 2-star senses turned that bear into a 3D blueprint in my head. I could see every weak point, every seam, every joint gap glowing like a cheat code. I found the sweet spot, a tiny crescent-shaped patch under the neck where the armor was thinnest, and slid my blade in like butter. SHHHHK. That iron-tough hide that supposedly stops bullets? Under my knife, it was tofu. Soft, obedient tofu. I moved around that table like a dancer. Knife flashing up, down, left, right. Skin off. Bones separated. Gallbladder extracted. Paws detached at the joints. Zero hesitation. Zero wasted motion. The trash talking behind me went real quiet, real fast. What the? Is this kid a reincarnated butcher god? He's not even looking at the joints. How is every cut landing perfectly in the cartilage gap? Clang. Last paw off. Lined up neat on the tray like I was presenting sushi. I sheathed my knife and checked the clock. 1.5 hours. And I was going slow on purpose. Baldy's jaw was on the floor. He rushed over and inspected the hide. Perfect, not a scratch. Checked the gallbladder. Flawless, glowing emerald green. His eyes went full cartoon $signs. Brother? No. Master Chun. He grabbed my hand like I was his long-lost son. Welcome to the second slaughterhouse. Base salary 30,000. 500 credits per bear. Plus 2 pounds of free beast meat daily, and everything else at 80% off. Deal. Now here's where it got really interesting. After doing research and some personal experiments, I discovered a problem. Beast meat is basically nuclear-powered protein, but it's also slightly toxic. Normal warriors like Chinga can only eat small amounts before the toxins start piling up. That's why purified gene potions cost a fortune. they're the safe version. So I needed to be careful with how much I fed my wife. But me? I had a theory about myself. To test it, I snuck a raw chunk of ironhide bear liver at work and swallowed it. The wild energy hit my body like a freight train. My skin tingled for about 2 seconds. Then my perfected radio calisthenics purification kicked in. My thunder breathing technique started vibrating through my organs, and burp. One meaty, slightly disgusting burp later, every trace of toxin was gone. Just expelled. Like my body had a built-in hazmat disposal unit. I'm literally a walking water filter, I realized. This meant I could eat beast meat like rice and save all the expensive potions for Chinga. Brilliant. When I got home, my wife bounced up to the door. How'd it go? I scooped her into my arms. Babe, your husband never fails. Hired on the spot. 30,000 base, fat commissions, and meat at wholesale prices. Amazing. She wanted to jump for joy, but remembered the baby and settled for shaking my arm like an excited puppy. I knew my husband was the best. Then she noticed my eyes changing. That warm, I love my wife, look was slowly morphing into something. Hungrier. Way hungrier. Like a wolf spotting a rabbit. I'll go get you some water. She tried to bolt. Cute. But rabbits don't escape wolves in their own den. One long arm, one gentle pull, and she was right back against my chest. Don't need water, I murmured, nose touching hers. I'm in the mood for something else. No? Wait. MMPH. Resistance was, as always, futile. Skip 10,000 words of cardio. Late that night, the system dropped a bomb. 10 development points. 10. I'd been scraping by with 1s and 2s, and now I got a full 10-piece combo meal. No hesitation. Not even a millisecond. System, upgrade tiger leopard thunder breathing. Ding. Thunder breathing technique upgraded to perfected. 10 points well spent. This breathing technique was my foundation, my engine, my everything. And now it was maxed out. I lay there in the dark, wife sleeping peacefully on my chest, thinking, 30,000 salary, 40,000 government stipend, free meat, toxic immune body, and a perfected breathing technique. Not bad for a Tuesday. The moment thunder breathing hit perfected level, my entire skeleton started vibrating like a tuning fork. Every bone, every cell of marrow, pumping out fresh, supercharged blood. This was marrow washing, something only high-rank warriors are supposed to achieve. I'm a 2-star nobody, and my bones were doing it like it was casual Friday. I clenched my fist. Strength and recovery? At least doubled. Beautiful. I still had 11 development points left, but I pocketed those for later. Instead, I grabbed my phone and did something responsible for once. I bought the official license for the thunder breathing technique. 50,000 credits. Gone. Just like that. My wallet screamed. My heart bled. But hey, can't have some lawyer coming after me for copyright infringement on a breathing exercise. This is the future. Even martial arts have DRM. Next day at work, I went absolutely feral. 6 ironhide bears. In one day, no breaks. Just me, my knife, and a parade of armored teddy bears getting turned into premium cuts. The finance lady handed me my commission slip like she was handing over a sacred scroll. 3,000 credits. Not bad for a day of bear surgery. But I wasn't done shopping. I marched straight to the employee store. 2 sets of bear paws. 10 pounds of prime meat. And that. I pointed to the back of the freezer where a fist-sized emerald green gallbladder sat glowing like a cursed jewel. Give me that bear gallbladder. The lunch lady blinked. Sweetie, even at your 80% discount, that's 10,000 credits. You just made 3,000 today. Swipe it. 13,000 credits. Gone. My bank account was having a very bad week. But this gallbladder? On the black market, it's worth 50,000 minimum. More importantly, it's basically a pregnancy superfood. Clears toxins, strengthens bones, purifies the baby. For a pregnant warrior wife who's been speed leveling, this is liquid gold. And speaking of my wife, right as I was elbow deep in bear number 4, the system dinged. Partner Su Chinga trained diligently. Gene development 0.2%. She's at home, pregnant, still grinding in the gravity room, earning me free upgrades. This woman deserves the world. Or at least one really expensive bear organ. I got home, and the apartment was quiet except for a faint hum from the training room. Of course she was still at it. Babe, stop training. Come out and receive your treasure. Come receive your gift. She walked out in comfy sweats, forehead glistening with sweat, looking annoyingly cute. What's with the weird phrasing? She sniffed the air. What's in that box? Smells intense. I set it on the table and opened it like I was unveiling the crown jewels. Layer by layer. Dramatic pause. Final lid off. A fist-sized, translucent emerald green gallbladder sat there, glowing, filling the room with the most aggressively bitter medicinal smell imaginable. Chinga's hands flew to her mouth. Is that an iron-hide bear gallbladder? Former rich girl recognized it instantly. Even in her fancy family, this was legendary tier stuff. How much was this? Only 10,000. Employee discount. I shrugged like I bought a sandwich. 10,000? She grabbed my sleeve, trying to close the box. That's your entire old monthly salary. Return it. Or sell it. I caught her hand and went full serious husband mode. Chinga, listen to me. You've been eating beast meat and cheap potions for weeks. Your body can handle the toxins. Can our baby? This gallbladder clears fetal toxins and strengthens the baby's bones. So tell me, is money more important, or are you and our child more important? Her eyes went red instantly. She wasn't crying because of the gallbladder. She was crying because her idiot husband spends every cent he earns on her without blinking. Stop crying. Drinking this is how you pay me back? I punctured the gallbladder, squeezed the green juice into warm water, and added honey because I'm not a monster. Bottoms up, she took a breath, tilted her head back, and chugged. Her face went through approximately 17 expressions in 2 seconds. Bitter. So bitter. Then, relief. A cool wave washing through her whole body. I watched as grayish gunk started seeping out of her pores. Literal toxins leaving her body in real time. Disgusting? Yes. Satisfying? Extremely. How do you feel? She looked at me with dreamy eyes, skin literally glowing. So, good. My body feels light. The heaviness in my belly is gone. That's right. 10,000 credits well spent. My wife was detoxed. The baby was getting premium bone upgrades, and I still had bear meat for dinner. Being a responsible husband is expensive, but man, the returns are unbeatable. That night, I helped Chinga absorb every last drop of that bear gallbladder. With my perfected thunder breathing, I could control energy flow down to the tiniest detail. Basically, I was a human for drip. By dawn, the system dinged. 0.4% from her absorption, plus the 0.2% from work earlier. Total daily gain, 0.6%. I literally laughed in my sleep. Multiple times. Life settled into a beautiful routine after that. Mornings, go to work, dismantle bears like a meat artist. Evenings, come home, stuff my wife full of premium monster groceries, then collect my sweet system kickbacks while she trained. Chinga was glowing. Her cultivation was climbing steadily toward 2-star despite the pregnancy, slowing her down. And me? I was a rocket. 1 month later, I checked my stats. 35%. Let that sink in. The 3-star threshold is 30%. I'd blown past it and kept running. 4-star starts at 40%, and I was only 5% away. Veterans at the slaughterhouse who'd been grinding for a decade were mostly stuck at 2-star peak. I did this in under 2 months. This isn't cheating. This is the power of a happy marriage. Totally different. Tomorrow was the monthly cleanup mission day, and my appointment with Commander Lung Yu to officially enter the B-rank zone. The C-rank pocket money wasn't cutting it anymore. My wife's appetite for premium B supplements was growing faster than our baby, and only B-rank monsters could keep up. Now, what I didn't know at the time, because I'm not psychic, was that a certain cockroach named Wang Kai was sitting in some restaurant booth, stirring cold coffee like a movie villain, plotting my murder. Apparently, this clown had people stalking me. He knew about my job at the second slaughterhouse, knew I was doing well, knew I was heading to B-rank tomorrow, and it was eating him alive. How does an orphan with no background live better than me? Actual thing, this man was probably thinking while his coffee went cold. His 2 hired thugs, both peak 2-star warriors who hung around B-rank zones like it was their backyard, laid it out for him. B-rank territory is deep wilderness. Terrible drone coverage. Magnetic interference scrambles surveillance. People die there all the time. Nobody asks questions. And Wang Kai, being the absolute garbage person he is, wasn't just thinking about killing me. Oh no, he was thinking about what happens after. Pregnant wife, no family support, no income. A vulnerable widow who'd have no choice but to accept help from a generous benefactor. He was already fantasizing. This man looked at my pregnant wife and thought, investment opportunity. After it's done, I'll double the payment, he told his hitmen, practically drooling. The two thugs grinned. Kill some cocky newbie in the wilderness? Easy money. B-rank zone will be his grave. This time next year will be his death anniversary. Real dramatic stuff. Very cinematic. Here's the thing though. These idiots thought they were hunting a fresh 2-star rookie. They had absolutely no idea they were walking into a date with a hidden 3-star monster who could vibrate toxins out of his body and butcher armored bears like slicing birthday cake. But I didn't know about any of this yet. I was at home, cracking my knuckles, thinking about tomorrow's B-rank adventure and how many expensive monster parts one could bring home for my wife. Ignorance is bliss, I guess, for them. Now, what I didn't know at the time was that Wong Kai's hired thugs weren't actually planning to kill me. Turns out even hitmen have a brain cell or two. The scarred guy, Knife Bro, smacked his partner upside the head the moment Wong Kai left. You idiot. If we actually kill that kid, Commander Lung you will skin us alive. You think that trust fund baby Wong Kai can protect us? Their real plan? Cripple me. Make it look like a beast attack, then leave breadcrumbs pointing back to the Wong family. Apparently Knife Bro had beef with Wong Kai's uncle and wanted to use me as bait to start a war between the Wong family and Lung Yu. Layers upon layers of scheming. These guys thought they were playing 4D chess. Spoiler, they were playing checkers against a guy who'd already flipped the board. But anyway, I had shopping to do. My trusty slaughterhouse knife was great for cutting up dead bears, but live, angry bears in the wild? I needed an upgrade. I hit the Warrior Mall on the first floor. I need a blade that can cut through 2-star beast armor, I told the salesgirl. Half an hour and 50,000 credits later, I walked out looking like a completely different person. Black nano-weave combat suit, matte finish, breathable, triple the defense of standard gear. And strapped to my back, a sleek black warblade called Black Fawn. My wallet was crying again, but hey, you don't bring a butter knife to a bear fight. Next morning, Chinga was waiting at the door holding my new sword like it was a newborn. Her eyes were doing that thing where they're trying to be brave, but are clearly terrified. Be careful. Don't be greedy. Don't show off. If it's dangerous, just run. Finish the minimum and come home. We'll be waiting for dinner. I took the blade, cupped her face, and kissed her properly. Then, because I'm me, relax, babe. Think of it as a grocery run. You finished those bear paws, right? Tonight, I'll bring fresh ones. Braised. Great for your skin. You and your mouth. She laughed and shoved me toward the elevator. Mission accomplished. Worry levels reduced by at least 60%. The second that elevator door closed, I guarantee she marched straight into the gravity room. That woman refuses to just wait around. She wants to be strong enough that I never have to worry about her either. Honestly, power couple goals. I arrived at Assembly Plaza number 7, the B-rank staging area. Night and day compared to C-rank. Fewer people, but every single one of them radiated, I will end you, energy. Commander Lung Yu was waiting at the entrance, rocking a navy blue combat suit that made her look like she could bench press a truck. She actually smiled when she saw me. From Lung Yu, that's basically a standing ovation. I expected you'd come, but breaking through to 2-star this fast, she eyed my new badge. A 20-year-old 2-star would be impressive even in the capital's elite training camps. My talent scouting skills haven't gone rusty. Then she introduced my teammates. Luo Feng, tall guy, crew cut, carrying a spear, face like he'd never smiled in his life. 2-star, early stage. Lin Xiao, short-haired girl, sharp eyes, slim build, fancy sword on her hip. Also 2-star, early stage. Lung Yu explained, you're all B-rank rookies. I recommend teaming up for your first run. If you 3 grow into something great, I get credit as your recommender. Win-win. Fair enough. I turned to them with a friendly smile and stuck out my hand. Hey, I'm Chunyi. They looked at my hand like I was offering them a dead fish. One cold nod from Spear Guy. One barely, their head tilt from Sword Girl. That was it. No handshake. No words. Just pure, you're beneath us. Energy radiating off them like cheap cologne. My hand hung in the air for a solid 2 seconds before I pulled it back. Not embarrassed, though. I just shrugged. Cool. Don't want to be friends? That's fine. Because here's the thing these two prodigies didn't know. I was sitting at 35% gene development. That's past 3-star. Nearly 4-star. Either one of them could come at me, and I'd handle it with one hand while eating a sandwich with the other. But sure, keep that attitude. It's cute. Over at the C-rank staging area, things were getting dramatic without me even knowing. Jiang Nan, my neighbor, the one who's been giving me, notice me, vibes, was staring at me from across the plaza like I was the main character in her favorite drama. Which, to be fair, I am. Wow, he's already going to B-rank? Lung Yu personally recruited him. She sounded impressed and salty at the same time. Like biting into a really good lemon. Standing next to her, Wang Kai. That cockroach. He was glaring at me with enough hatred to power a small city. Favored by Lung Yu? So what? He muttered, voice dripping with murder. The higher they climb, the harder they fall. Jiang Nin caught the vibe immediately. She's not dumb. Everyone knows Wang Kai is the pettiest man alive. She could practically smell the assassination plot. To her credit, she actually tried to warn me. But Wang Kai was right there, watching like a paranoid hawk. She hesitated. Was one neighbor worth making an enemy of a rich psycho? Then Wang Kai got distracted by one of his lackeys running up with some problem. The second he turned around, Jiang Nin whipped out her phone like a gunslinger. Little handsome guy, be careful. Someone might be targeting you. Stay safe. Send. Done. She exhaled like she'd just defused a bomb. Then she looked up at me expectantly, waiting for. What? Gratitude? A heart emoji? A dramatic nod of acknowledgement across the crowd. My watch buzzed. I read the message. Looked up. Found her in the crowd. And gave her absolutely nothing. One flat, emotionless glance. Like she was a lamppost. Then I turned around and walked into B-rank territory without so much as a nod. I could feel the rage radiating from her direction. Look, it's not that I'm ungrateful. I just had bigger things on my mind than texting back, THX, to a woman I barely know while walking into monster territory. Also, my wife has supernatural jealousy radar. I'm not opening that can of worms. But apparently Jiang Nin took it very personally. I'm told she stomped her foot, looked down at her own admittedly impressive figure, touched her face, and had a full existential crisis about whether she was attractive enough. Then she stormed off cursing my name. Good heart treated like garbage. Die for all I care. Saves me the headache. Sorry, Jiang Nan. Maybe next life. Inside B-rank territory, the team dissolved instantly. The moment we hit the forest, Spear Guy and Sword Girl looked at each other, didn't say a single word to me, and vanished in opposite directions like I had a disease. Fine by me. Lone wolf it is. I hadn't walked far when I heard clanging up ahead, peeked through the bushes, and spotted Luo Feng fighting an iron-hide bear. Now, I'll give him this, his footwork was pretty. Spinning around that bear like a ballerina with a spear, poking little holes everywhere, dodging swipes. But those wounds. Scratches. Paper cuts. He was basically giving that bear acupuncture. Is he giving it a pedicure? I thought, genuinely confused. If that were me. One slash to the ankle tendons, immobilized. Second stab through the lung, bleeding out. Third cut, done. Total time, maybe 15 seconds. This guy had been dancing around for who knows how long, and the bear looked more annoyed than injured. I shook my head and kept walking. Not my circus, not my acupuncture bear. Of course, Luo Feng saw me leave. And naturally, instead of thinking, maybe that guy knows something I don't, his takeaway was, humph, peasant. He clearly can't appreciate the beauty of my dragon swimming steps. A brute butcher like him could never understand true martial artistry. Neither he nor Lin Xia are worthy of being my rival. And then, I swear this actually happened, he thought to himself, my only true opponent is myself, buddy, my dude, my guy. You've been slapping a bear with a toothpick for 20 minutes. Your only true opponent is your own denial. About a kilometer deep into the forest, the trees got tall enough to block most of the sunlight. Real horror movie vibes. Perfect. Then I heard it. Heavy footsteps, branches snapping like toothpicks, and out of the bushes stepped my old friend. 3 meters tall, jet black fur with a metallic sheen, tiny blood-red eyes full of pure, I'm going to murder you, energy. A prime adult male iron-hide bear. Peak 2-star strength. ROARR. It screamed in my face so hard the dead leaves on the ground flew up. Its breath smelled like a dumpster fire had babies with a sewage plant. Any normal 2-star rookie would have turned into a puddle of fear and sprinted the other way. Me? I smiled. Like genuinely smiled. Because you know what I saw? A coworker. Well, if it isn't my buddy. I've been seeing your relatives lying on my cutting table every day for a month. Nice to finally meet a living one. I crossed my arms and just studied it. Didn't even draw my weapon. After butchering hundreds of these things at the slaughterhouse, I knew this animal's body better than my own. Where the skin is thickest, where it's tender, where one cut hits the main artery. In my eyes, this terrifying apex predator was basically a walking diagram covered in dotted red lines labeled, "Cut here." The bear did not appreciate being window-shopped. It roared again, reared up on its hind legs, and swung both paws down at my skull like twin sledgehammers. One clean hit would have turned my head into a pancake. Too slow, I slid half a step sideways. No flashy moves, just surgical precision, and the paws whooshed past my ear. Blade out. One flash of steel. I didn't bother trying to hack through its armor. Instead, I slipped my blade right under its raised arm, the armpit. There's a tiny white mark there where the lymph node meets the main artery. The one gap in its entire defense. Schlick. Hot knife through butter. Blood geyser. The bear screamed. But I was already inside its guard, dancing around its massive body like I was waltzing with it. Slash. Between the ribs. Slash. Abdominal nerve cluster. Slash. Both ankle tendons. 3 cuts. 3 seconds. Done. 3 tons of nightmare fuel crashed to the ground like a demolished building. Legs twitching, lungs punctured, tendons severed. It couldn't stand, couldn't roar, couldn't do anything but bleed and wonder how this tiny human knew its body better than it did. First one down. Payday starts now. I was feeling great. Beautiful day, beautiful kill, beautiful, busy. My ears caught it. 100 meters behind me. Breathing. 2 sets. Fast, nervous breathing. And leaves rustling in a way that wind doesn't cause. I didn't turn around. Kept bending over the bare carcass like nothing happened. But underneath my calm exterior, my mouth curved into something cold. Already? That was fast, Wong Kai. Meanwhile, up in a tree 100 meters back, 2 very nervous hitmen were having a crisis. The big guy was practically choking. That was a full-grown ironhide bear. He killed it in 3 seconds. And that knife technique, it's like he had X-ray vision. He went straight for every gap, like he had a map. Knife Bro was gripping his binoculars so hard his knuckles were white. Wong Kai's intel is garbage. Garbage. This isn't a 2-star rookie. That explosive power, that accuracy. This kid's knocking on 3 stars' door. Should we bail, Knife Bro? This feels really bad. Knife Bro hesitated. He looked at my back, relaxed, unaware, totally exposed. Greed 1. We go? Now. He just burned energy fighting that bear. He's probably careless. There's 2 of us, both peak 2-star veterans. We can handle 1 baby bird. Plus, this is a surveillance dead zone. It's the perfect chance. Oh, boys. You have no idea. That, unaware, back you're staring at? It belongs to a hidden 3-star who just killed your worst nightmare in 3 seconds without breaking a sweat. But sure, come on down. I'm not going anywhere. The wind shifted. Not natural wind, murder wind. Die. Big guy dropped from the trees like a psycho lumberjack, his massive battle axe aimed straight at the back of my skull. At the same time, Knife Bro slithered down silent as a snake, twin poison daggers targeting both my kidneys. Coordinated. Professional. Deadly. Against a normal rookie? Game over. Against me? Comedy show. See, they thought I was relaxed and off guard, adorable. I'd heard them breathing up in that tree for the last 2 minutes. I was literally just waiting for them to commit. The axe was half a meter from my head when I looked up. Not panicked. Not scared. Just amused. I've been waiting for you guys. Then I activated my party trick. Tiger Leopard Thunder Roar. Perfected level. HRNNGHH. This wasn't a scream. This was my internal organs and blood vessels vibrating at a frequency that turns your brain into scrambled eggs. A sonic shockwave, point-blank range, straight into both their eardrums. Boom. Both of them froze mid-air like someone hit the pause button. Eyes went blank. Blood flow disrupted. Attack stalled for 1 precious second. 1 second is all I ever need. I ducked under the frozen axe, angled my blade upward, found the gap between big guy's armor plates at the armpit, same sweet spot as my bears, and drove it home. Squelch. Through the lung. Through the aorta. Done. His eyes went wide as dinner plates. The axe slipped from his fingers. Blood sprayed through his hands like a broken faucet. He dropped to his knees and face-planted, dead before he hit the ground. 1 second. 1 kill. Old 3. Knife bro screamed. I watched the exact moment his brain switched from attack to oh no. The color drained from his face so fast I thought he might faint. This isn't a rookie. This is 3-star. Wang Kai set us up. He spun and bolted for the trees. Smart choice. Too late though. Leaving already? No. I pushed off the ground so hard the dirt cratered under my feet. At 35% gene development, my speed absolutely demolished his 28%. 2 seconds, and I was right behind him. Wait. Don't kill me. I was hired by. I know. My knife didn't hesitate. 1 clean horizontal stroke. His head left his body, spinning into the air like a very ugly basketball. The headless corpse stumbled forward a few steps on pure momentum before flopping face first into the mud. I flicked the blood off my blade. Felt nothing. Honestly, I had stronger emotional reactions to butchering bears at work. These two were just garbage disposal. But I'm a law-abiding citizen, so I immediately hit the emergency button on my watch. This is Chunyi. B-Zone, coordinates 03. 2 peak 2-star warriors ambushed me. Both eliminated. Requesting support. Short, clean, professional. 5 minutes later, boom. A streak of dark blue screamed across the sky and slammed into the clearing like a meteor. Lung Yu. She looked ready to murder whoever had messed with her recruit. Right behind her, enforcement officers fanned out. And then, huffing and puffing, Luo Feng and Lin Xia arrived. What happened? What was all that NOI? Luo Feng stopped talking. Stopped moving. Stopped breathing, probably. Lin Xia clapped both hands over her mouth. The scene in front of them. 1 dead ironhide bear with surgical precision wounds. 1 dead guy with a caved-in chest. 1 dead guy whose head was sitting several feet from his body, neck stumped smooth as a mirror cut. And me, standing off to the side, calmly wiping my sword with a cloth. Not a scratch on me. Breathing perfectly normal. Like I just finished folding laundry. Luo Feng recognized the dead men's gear, peak 2-star veteran equipment. These weren't amateurs. These were experienced killers. And they were dead. In seconds. Against the brute he'd been mocking an hour ago. I could practically hear his internal monologue collapsing like a house of cards. My only true opponent is myself? Brother, after today, I'm pretty sure his only true opponent is his therapist. He and Lin Xia looked at each other. All that arrogance from earlier? Evaporated. Replaced by raw, honest terror. Funny how a little decapitation changes people's attitudes. Lung Yu crouched over the bodies and I could see her getting angrier with every second. She examined the wounds like a detective at a crime scene. Clean throat cut. Clean heart puncture. 0 wasted movement. Pure killing technique. Then she looked at me with this expression that said, I thought I recruited a talented rookie, not a walking war crime. She knew these guys. They had criminal records on the black market. 2 peak 2-star veterans, and I'd turned them into modern art. This is bigger than a random attack, she said, ice in her voice. Someone sent assassins after a warrior the association is developing. That's a serious crime. She waved her hand like a general. Bag the bodies. Seal the scene. Collect everything. Chinyi, you're coming with us for a statement. And the mission is canceled. Everyone out. We loaded onto the hover ship. Luo Feng and Lin Xia trailed behind me like traumatized ducklings. I could feel them staring at my back with completely different energy than this morning. Funny how decapitating someone recalibrates people's respect levels. At the Warrior Association, I got escorted to a special interrogation room. Cold metal walls, harsh lighting, you're in trouble, vibes. Except I wasn't in trouble. I was the victim. A very well-armed victim. The interrogator was Captain Lei Lingling. And oh, I remembered her. She was the law enforcement officer who handled that incident at our old apartment complex 2 months ago, back when I was still a nobody. She'd seen me as some green kid with potential. Now she was staring at her tablet showing 2-star warrior and looking at me like I was an alien. This woman had been training for years and was only at 22% gene development. I'd lapped her in 2 months. Plus the whole, solo killed 2 peak 2-star assassins instantly. thing probably wasn't helping her self-esteem. It's self-defense, and Commander Lung you can vouch for you, she said, trying to sound professional. But we need to follow procedure. Any idea who sent them? I leaned back in my chair, fingers laced on the table. Calm. Collected. Like I was ordering coffee. Wong Kai. Then I laid it all out. The restaurant confrontation. The trash talk at C-rank staging. The suspicious tales in the field that backed off when drones appeared. Clear motive, clear means, clear opportunity. I presented it like a lawyer closing a case, not like a guy who almost got axed in the head 20 minutes ago. Lei Lingling was impressed by my composure. I think she expected crying or rage. Instead, she got a TED Talk on attempted murder logistics. Then, knock knock, a tech officer burst in and whispered something in her ear. He handed over a freshly printed report. Her face went through about 6 colors in 2 seconds. Turns out the tech team cracked Knife Bro's encrypted phone. Inside, they found deleted chat logs. And guess what was in there? A bank transfer. 50,000 credits. Sender, Wong Kai. Note, down payment. And a draft message that was never sent. Don't worry, young Master Kai. B-Zone will be his burial ground. Boom. Case closed. Evidence so solid you could build a house on it. Money trail, communications, motive, my testimony. This was a textbook hired assassination attempt. But here's where it got political. Lei Lingling was holding that report like it was a live grenade. Because Wong Kai isn't just some random rich idiot. He's the nephew of Wang Zheng, a senior official at the Warrior Association. Same rank as Lung Yu. Maybe even more political pull in some areas. And everyone knows Wang Zheng and Lung Yu have been butting heads for years. So now the math was, Lung Yu's prized recruit was nearly murdered by Wang Zheng's nephew. This wasn't a criminal case anymore. This was a political bomb with a lit fuse. I watched Lei Lingling rub her temples like she was developing a migraine in real time. She looked at me with an expression that clearly said, "Kid, you are a walking disaster magnet." Then she took a deep breath and made her call. Don't file this through normal channels. Send it directly to Commander Lung Yu. This is above our pay grade. Translation, I am not touching this grenade. Let the big dogs fight it out, smart woman. I just sat there, perfectly calm, waiting for the storm to begin. Wong Kai, buddy, you transferred 50,000 credits with your real name, left a paper trail a child could follow, and your hitman saved a draft message bragging about killing me. Criminal mastermind, this guy was not. Now, I wasn't there for what happened next, but I heard all about it later. And honestly, it was better than any drama series. First, Lung Yu read the report. She punched her desk so hard she left a dent in solid alloy. This woman is a 6-star warrior. That desk probably cost more than my apartment. Someone attacked MY recruit in MY zone and tried to frame me. Apparently, the air in her office got so thick with killing intent that her subordinates could barely breathe. Note to self, never make this woman angry. Ever. Meanwhile, across town, the star of our comedy, Wong Kai, was hiding in a private club, pacing around like a cockroach that knows the lights are about to turn on. Why haven't they called back? It's been 3 hours. Both hitmen's phones. Off. No messages. No updates. Just silence. The kind of silence that means your assassins are dead and your life is over. Then the door slammed open. In walked his father, Wang Gang, looking like he was about to commit a murder of his own. Behind him, Wong Kai's mother, crying, mascara running everywhere. And bringing up the rear, the big boss himself, Uncle Wang Zheng, senior official at the Warrior Association. The man who's supposed to be the Wang family's shield and sword. Wang Zheng was rolling walnuts in his hand, which apparently is what powerful old men do when they're calculating how to dispose of a family member. Uncle, Dad, M.O. slap. His father crossed the room in 3 steps and hit him so hard Wong Kai spun like a top. Half his face swelled up instantly. Blood from the corner of his mouth. And this was the gentle version. His dad hit him first specifically because if Uncle Wang Zheng did it, Wong Kai would literally die. The man is a high-rank warrior. One slap would have been a closed casket funeral. Dio, you know what you did. His father was shaking, spit flying everywhere. You hired 2 peak 2-star killers to murder a rookie, and they got reverse killed. The association has your phone records, your bank transfers, your chat messages. Everything points to you. You attacked someone that Lung Yue personally recruited. Do you have a death wish? Slap. Another one for good measure. Wang Kai's brain was still buffering. Dead? There. Dead. But they were peak 2-star. And Chunyi is just. He's just a freeloader who. Freeloader? His dad nearly had an aneurysm. That guy was playing dumb the whole time, and you fell for it like an idiot. You're the real waste here. Reality finally hit Wang Kai like a freight train. If convicted of hiring assassins to kill a warrior the association was cultivating, that's not just prison. That's getting stripped of warrior status and shipped to the front lines as cannon fodder, which is basically a fancy death sentence. He did what any brave, dignified young man would do. He crawled across the floor, grabbed his uncle's leg, and sobbed like a toddler. Uncle, save me. You're a senior official. You can delete the evidence, right? Just erase the records, and I'm fine, right? Uncle Wang Jing looked down at this blubbering mess clinging to his leg with an expression of pure disgust. Delete it. Wham. He kicked Wang Kai in the chest so hard the kid flew across the room and smashed into the wall. Blood sprayed from his mouth like a fountain. Son, Xiao Kai. Both parents rushed to scrape their boy off the floor. Wang Kai's mother, mascara running down to her chin, turned to Wang Zheng with desperation in her voice. What if we just let him run? Another city? The black market? Hide until this blows over. Wang Zheng's response could have frozen lava. Run? Every surveillance system in the city already has his face flagged. If he runs, it's fleeing from justice. That makes it worse. Then it's not just him who dies. The entire Wang family gets labeled as accomplices. Hundreds of people dragged down because of this worthless nephew. You want to sacrifice the whole clan for this moron? Silence. Total, devastating silence. From what I heard, Wang Kai just sat there in a puddle of his own blood, finally understanding that his 50,000 credit assassination attempt had just put a nuclear bomb under his entire family. And me? I was probably at home by then, eating dinner with my wife, telling her work was uneventful. Wang Kai, buddy, you transferred money with your real name. Your hitman saved a draft message about killing me, and you picked a target who was secretly 3-star level. Speedrun to rock bottom. World record. From what I pieced together later, after Uncle Wang Zheng stormed out, he left Wang Kai with exactly one option: crawl to me and beg. Get a forgiveness letter from the victim. Kneel. Grovel. Let him step on your face if he wants. If he doesn't sign it, you're on your own. The Wang family will cut you loose faster than a bad stock. Wang Kai's mother literally collapsed to her knees begging. Wang Kai was hugging his uncle's shoes like a drowning man gripping a life raft. Blood still dripping from his mouth, snot, and tears everywhere. Real dignified stuff. But that was their problem. I had a wife to get home to. By the time I reached our apartment, it was already evening. Chinga had been staring at the clock all day, slowly losing her mind. No signal in B-rank territory, then the interrogation at the association. My phone was on silent for hours. She'd been texting me with 0 replies. I rang the doorbell, and the door flew open so fast I thought she'd ripped it off the hinges. Pregnant woman moved like an Olympic sprinter. Then she saw me, perfectly fine, not a scratch, holding a giant cooler box, and just crashed into my chest, buried her face in my shirt, and started crying. You scared me. Why didn't you answer? I thought you were. I dropped the box and wrapped my arms around her, patting her back. I'm sorry, babe. No signal in B-zone. Then the association paperwork took forever. Look at me. Not even a paper cut. She pulled back, inspected me head to toe like a quality control officer, confirmed I was intact, then punched me in the chest. Do that again, and I'm taking the baby and leaving. Yes, ma'am. Never again. I nudged the cooler box with my foot. But first, look what I brought home. She crouched down, popped the lid, cold mist rolled out, and there they were. 2 absolutely massive ironhide bear paws. Each one the size of a dinner plate. Perfectly cleaned. Gleaming. Bear paws. Fresh from the B-rank boss bear himself. Tonight, your husband is cooking braised bear paws. Collagen City. Your skin is going to glow. She went from crying to grinning in about 2 seconds. That's my girl. Dinner was incredible. That braised bear paw was so tender and rich it practically melted. Chinga was making happy little sounds with every bite, eyes squeezed shut in pure food joy. Then, mid-chew, she put down her chopsticks. You said you did a report at the association. Was it just the mission? Because the news said B-Zone was locked down today. Something about a killing? I didn't even flinch. Just placed a piece of broccoli in her bowl. Oh, that. Couple of idiots tried to steal my kill. Weren't very good at it. I handled them. Lung Yu took care of the rest. No big deal. I said it like I was describing a minor traffic incident. Not two decapitated assassins. But Chinga is sharp. Way too sharp. Was it? Wang Kai. I looked at her. Those eyes missed nothing. Probably, I admitted. But don't worry. He kicked an iron wall this time. Lung Yu is involved now. The Wang family is about to have a very bad week. I rubbed her belly and switched to my sunshine smile. Let's just enjoy our bare paws, grow our baby, and maybe do some evening exercises. Exercises, you know? Training. Cultivation. Cardio. Her face went tomato red. I'm pregnant. You pervert. Pregnant women need moderate exercise. Doctor's orders. Since when are you a doctor? Buzz. My phone rang. Timing. Every single time. My phone rang. Unknown number. My gut said, this is going to be stupid. My gut was right. I picked up and hit speaker so Chinga could hear. Chinyi, that voice. Wang Kai. And even after getting slapped around by his entire family, beaten until he was spitting blood, and told his life was basically over, this clown still had attitude. It's Wang Kai. Today was a misunderstanding. My uncle told me to talk to you. 3 million credits. That's enough for a poor nobody like you to live on forever. Signed the forgiveness letter, dropped the charges, and I hung up. Didn't even let him finish his sentence. Just click. Gone. Bye. Chinga looked worried. Are you sure about this? That's the Wang family. And 3 million is a lot of money. 3 million? I almost laughed. Is he tipping a street beggar? I pulled her close and broke it down. Babe, think about this legally. Hiring assassins to kill a warrior the association is personally developing? That's a major crime. Under the warrior compensation law, for attempted murder this serious, the standard forgiveness letter payout is 10 times the victim's annual income. I started counting on my fingers. Last month at the second slaughterhouse, salary plus commissions, I made at least 150,000. That's 1.8 million a year. Times 10, I grinned so wide my back teeth showed. 18 million. Credits. HSSSS. Chinga sucked in air so hard I thought she'd vacuum the curtains off the windows. They'd actually pay that, she stammered. They don't have a choice. Unless Uncle Wang Zheng wants to watch his nephew get shipped to the front lines in a body bag, or watch the whole Wang family get publicly destroyed. I leaned back like a king on his throne. If I don't squeeze them dry, my name isn't Chunyi. And think about it. 18 million buys premium gene potions, secures the baby's future, maybe even a bigger apartment. She stared at me with this expression that was half, my husband is terrifying, and half, my husband is a genius. Then I stood up, grabbed her wrist, and pulled her toward the bathroom. Enough business talk. We just ate a mountain of bear paw. Time for proper digestion. Let's shower. What? No. I just ate. Exactly. Hot water aids absorption. It's science. That is not science. Chinyi, you absolute. MMPH. Protest denied. Court adjourned. Meanwhile, back at Wang Kai's hideout, I'm told the scene was spectacular. Wang Kai was standing there holding his phone, face cycling through emotions like a slot machine. Shock. Confusion. Then volcanic rage. He hung up? That orphan. That garbage picker. I offered him 3 million and he hung up on me. He turned to his dad. He doesn't know what's good for him. I'll call again, and slap. His father cracked him across the face so hard it split his lip open. Fresh blood joined the dried blood already crusted there. This kid's face was basically a Jackson Pollock painting at this point. I told you to beg. Beg. Does that sound like begging to you? You called him a poor nobody. You said misunderstanding. You tried to buy him like a servant. That man just killed 2 assassins with his bare hands and has Lung Yu backing him, and you're still acting like you're better than him. Wang Kai's mother rushed in crying. Stop hitting him. It's that Qin Yi who's unreasonable. Our son offered 3 million and slap. Wang Gang was so furious he accidentally backhanded his own wife. Yeah, that's where we were. Dad slapping son. Dad slapping mom. Everyone bleeding. Everyone crying. And me? I was in a warm shower with my beautiful wife, mentally calculating how to spend 18 million credits. Life is good when you're on the right side of the forgiveness letter. So here's what I missed while I was in the shower with my wife. Wang Kai went completely insane. After I hung up on him, his dad kept slapping him, his mom tried to intervene, His dad accidentally slapped his MO and then Wang Kai, this absolute genius, punched his own father in the chest so hard the man flew 3 meters and crashed through a glass coffee table. Knocked his own dad unconscious. One-star warrior hitting a regular businessman. Real brave, champ. Then, foaming at the mouth like a rabid dog, he screamed, "Forget the forgiveness letter. I'll kill Chen Yi myself. Kill his whole family. If everyone's dead, who's gonna sue me?" Criminal mastermind logic right there. Murder the witness to fix the murder charge. Outstanding plan. He ripped open the door to storm out, and Lung Yu was standing right there. Just standing, arms at her sides. Ice blue hair floating in some non-existent wind because 6-star warriors apparently have their own weather system. Behind her, a full squad of armed officers with guns already pointed at him. She held up a paper with a big red stamp on it. Wang Kai, A-rank arrest warrant. Hired assassination of a registered warrior. Come with me. His legs turned to noodles. He collapsed to his knees right there in the doorway. All that, "I'll kill everyone" energy? Gone. Evaporated. Replaced by a sobbing, snotty mess being dragged out by 2 officers like a wet garbage bag. "Uncle, Dad, save me. I don't want to die." 2 seconds ago, he literally knocked his dad unconscious, and now he's screaming for daddy. Incredible character arc. His mom tried to chase after him, but got blocked. Nearly fainted. His dad crawled out of the broken glass, coughing blood, and immediately realized this was the last chance. If the case goes through officially, it's over. Death sentence via frontline deployment. Only one move left. Call me again and actually beg properly this time. Now, back to MY evening. I had just carried Chinga out of the bathroom. She was draped over my shoulder like a sleepy cat, all flushed and soft, mumbling, "I told you not to," in that cute pouty voice. That's called work-life balance, babe. I'd barely put her on the bed when, buzz buzz, phone again. 20 minutes since Wang Kai's call. I answered on speaker. Said nothing. Just let the silence do its thing. Heavy breathing on the other end. Then a broken, exhausted voice. Mr. Chen? I'm Wang Gang. Wang Kai's father. Chinga tensed up and grabbed my arm. I patted her hand. It's fine. I still didn't speak. Just waited. Every second of silence was another crack in this man's dignity. Mr. Chen, it's all my fault. I raised him wrong. He's already been arrested. I know what he did is unforgivable. I know you're angry. But he's my only son. His voice cracked. Full crying now. This man who was probably a big-shot businessman yesterday was sobbing into a phone, covered in his own blood from getting punched by his own kid. Please, please show mercy. Whatever conditions you want. Whatever price. The 3 million my idiot son mentioned, that doesn't count. He's stupid. Name your number. I'll sell everything I own if I have to. I listened to all of this with a perfectly blank face. Show mercy? Let me think about that. If those assassins had killed me today, would Wang Kai have shown mercy to my pregnant wife? Would he have left her alone? We both know the answer. But I'm also not stupid. Wang Kai was already arrested. That's guaranteed. The question now was, do I let him rot for free, or do I squeeze every last credit out of this family first? Revenge is satisfying. But revenge plus 18 million credits? That's a retirement plan. I looked at Chinga, lying there in our warm bed, hand resting on her belly. Our baby. Our future. Then I looked at the phone, where a desperate father was waiting for me to speak. I let him wait a little longer. Time to negotiate. And by negotiate, I mean, watch a rich man destroy himself on speakerphone while my wife listens in her bathrobe. I finally spoke. Mr. Wang, since you're so sincere, let me be straight. Your son tried to make it a 2-for-1 deal. Me and my pregnant wife. She's been so stressed, she's having pregnancy complications. So we're talking emotional damages, medical costs, lost income. We'll pay. Everything. Just name your price. I smirked and started tapping my finger on the nightstand. Tap, tap, tap. Nice and slow. Psychological warfare. See, Mr. Wang, kicking the ball back to me? That's not sincerity. Translation. You say the number first so I can tell you it's too low. I could hear the man's soul leaving his body through the phone. If he goes too low, I hang up and his son rots. Too high, and the family goes broke. Beautiful dilemma. 10 million. Chinga's entire body jolted like she'd been electrocuted. Her nails dug into my arm, so hard I nearly yelped. Her eyes went full saucer mode. 10 million. She was ready to scream yes. I put my finger on her lips. Shoo. Then I hit Wang Gang with the coldest voice I had. Mr. Wang, if you think your son's life is only worth 10 million, then there's nothing to discuss. Clearly money matters more to you than family. Let him reflect in prison. Goodbye, wait. Don't hang up. The man sounded like his heart was being ripped out through the phone speaker. 20 million. 20 million credits. Mr. Chun, that's everything we have. Every drop of cash flow in this branch of the family. If you want more, I'd have to sell property, and that takes months. I could hear it in his breathing. This was the bottom of the barrel. Push harder, and he might do something desperate. Time to close. I sighed dramatically. Really sold it. Oscar worthy. Well, since you're clearly a devoted father, I suppose 20 million will do. Money hits my account. Forgiveness letter goes out. And Mr. Wang? Keep your son away from me. Next time, money won't fix it. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chun. Click. But I wasn't done. Before celebrating, I called Lung Yu. Because I'm not an idiot. Commander, Wang Kai's father just offered me 20 million for a forgiveness letter. Before I signed anything, will this mess up your plans against Wang Zheng? See, this whole thing was bigger than me and Wang Kai. It was a chess match between Lung Yu and Wang Zheng. If she wanted to use this case to crush the Wang family politically, my forgiveness letter would be a wrench in the gears. And I was not about to betray the 6-star warrior who'd been protecting me for a quick payday. The line went quiet. Then Lung Yu actually laughed. The Ice Queen laughed. Chenyi, the fact that you called me before cashing that check tells me you're smart and loyal. Most people would have taken the money and run. My chest puffed up a little. Not gonna lie. Take the money, she said. The forgiveness letter only reduces his sentence. No death penalty, no life in prison. But it doesn't erase the crime. He's still going down. And you need resources to hit 3-star. Consider it your war trophy. I'll handle the rest. Yes, ma'am. Much appreciated. She hung up. Efficient as always. I turned around to find Chinga frozen in the exact same position, staring at me like I'd just pulled a rabbit out of a hat. All clear. Lung Yu approved. Legal, legitimate, and ours. I snapped my fingers. Then my phone buzzed. Your warrior account, ending 8899, received a transfer at 2015. Amount, 20 million.00 credits. Chinga crawled over and started counting zeros. Her lips were moving silently. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 20 million. She was shaking. Actually trembling. A few days ago, we were stressing over 5,000 credit medicine bottles. Now we had 21 million in the bank. Honey, we're rich. The baby's formula, school, everything is covered. Formula? I scoffed. Babe, we're upgrading everything. No more deep blue potions. From now on, we drink purple crystal. 10,000 a bottle, the premium stuff. She was glowing. Literally glowing. Partly from the bear paw collagen, partly from the 20 million, partly from earlier activities. Then I leaned in with my signature troublemaker grin. Now, about that shower we didn't finish. Normally this is where she'd smack me and run. But tonight my wife looked at that bank balance, looked back at me, wrapped her arms around my neck, and hit me with bedroom eyes I didn't even know she had. For 20 million. Permission granted. That's my girl. Best. Tuesday. Ever. The system notifications were music to my ears. Absolute symphony. I won't go into details, but let's just say the evening was productive. Very productive. Afterward, Chinga was draped over me like a human blanket, catching her breath, face redder than a tomato. Eventually, she gathered enough brain cells to ask something actually important. The thunder breathing technique. Did you buy the license? Official store. Permanent authorization. Bulletproof. Good. Then she went full martial arts advisor mode. Don't get ahead of yourself, though. My old private tutor at the Su family said thunder breathing can carry you past 50% gene development. But you shouldn't even think about adding a second technique until you're at least 35%. She recommended the first 3 levels of 9-layer golden body to strengthen your bones and meridians for higher frequency vibrations. I nodded thoughtfully. Because here's the funny thing, my upgraded version, Tiger Leopard Thunder Breathing, already does the bone and meridian strengthening thing. It might already cover what that golden body technique does, meaning I might be ahead of the game without needing supplements. But the really funny part was coming. You're only at like 25%, so don't rush. Chinga lectured. When you eventually hit 35%, then we can talk about, what if I told you I'm already at 35%? 3 seconds of silence. She stared at me. Then she rolled her eyes so hard I thought they'd get stuck. Sure. And I'm the Empress of Mars. She pinched my side. You were at 25% half a month ago. You think you jumped 10% in 2 weeks? What are you, soaking in evolution juice? In her defense, she'd been killing herself training and only went from 10% to 12%. Meanwhile, I'm claiming gains that would make a steroid factory jealous. Nobody believes the truth anymore. I sighed, clutching my heart dramatically. Not even my own wife doubts my strength. The loneliness of being a genius. She burst out laughing, pulled the blanket over her face, and told me to go shower because I smelled like a gym. Let's shower together, you know? I have 0 energy left. I am dead. She gripped that blanket like her life depended on it. Cute. As if that would stop me. I scooped her up, blanket, woman, and all, like an eagle grabbing a rabbit. One shake of the covers and there she was, porcelain skin and all, cradled in my arms like a princess. Chinyi, you animal. Put me down. Tiny fists rained on my shoulders like angry popcorn. Protest denied. Again. Not a long while later. Chinga was boneless. Just a puddle of human being draped across my chest while I browsed the warrior equipment store on my phone. Time to upgrade my gear. I'd been punching way above what my equipment could handle. I zeroed in on the Series 30 standard issue gear, designed for warriors between 30% and 39.9% development. Pros: insanely durable, great value. Cons: looks like something your grandpa would wear to a funeral. The warrior community literally calls it old man armor. All gray and black, 0 style points. But I'm practical. No point buying flashy designer stuff when I'm leveling up this fast. Series 30 will do until I hit 40%. Chinga peeked at my screen. Shouldn't you pick a combat technique first? Your weapon should match your fighting style. What if you end up choosing a spear art and you've already bought a greatsword? Smart woman. She had a point. My current skill, butcher knife technique, aka expert dissection arts, was self-taught from carving up animals. Effective? Obviously. But compared to actual top-tier warrior combat techniques, probably has some gaps. You're right. I need expert advice. I opened the Warrior Association app and found the premium consultation page. Scrolling through rows of fancy titles and credentials when, oh hello, Lung Yu, Peak 6-star warrior, Nanjiang Warrior Association supervisor. Status: online, available, consultation fee, 100,000 credits/day, includes in-person meeting and private training room guidance, 100,000 a day. Yesterday that would have made me faint. Today, with 20 million in the bank? That's pocket change, baby. 100,000 credits for a full day with a 6-star warrior? 2 weeks ago that was my annual fantasy budget. Now with 20 million in the bank, that's a rounding error. Her. Book it, 1 tap. Paid. Then I made the mistake of telling my wife. Babe, I booked a consultation with Commander Lung Yu tonight. At her private training room. Chinga's sleepy eyes snapped to full alert. She looked at Lung Yu's profile photo. Gorgeous, ice cold, the kind of face that belongs on a magazine cover. And her voice dropped about 10 degrees. What a pretty lady. Then 2 fingers found the soft spot on my waist with surgical precision. HSSS, ow? Babe. She's my boss. She saved my life today. This is strictly professional martial arts consulta. Go. Come back fast. Don't be flirty. She's a 6-star warrior. If you annoy her, she'll snap you in half. And you'll deserve it. Yes, ma'am. Military-grade professionalism. Promise. Right then my phone rang. Lung Yu herself. Come over. I approved your booking. And I refunded the 100,000. Now, most people would hear, free money coming back, and think jackpot. But Chinga had trained me well in rich people etiquette, and my own instincts agreed. If I accept free lessons from a 6-star powerhouse, that's not a discount, that's a debt. And in this world, favors from powerful people cost way more than cash. Commander, I can't accept that. Rules are rules. If I don't pay tuition, I won't feel right asking the hard questions. I'll just keep sending it back until you accept. Silence. Then, do whatever you want. Just get here. After she hung up, Chinga, who'd been listening the whole time, was nodding approvingly. You did the right thing. Paying keeps it clean. She respects you more for insisting. You don't owe her an impossible favor, and she'll teach you more seriously. In this world, human debts are worth way more than 100,000 credits. I kissed her forehead. This is why I married a former heiress. That elite education hits different. Shut up and go. 20 minutes later, I was standing outside a door labeled Lung Yu Training Room. 300 square meters of pure martial arts space. Deep gray shock-absorbing alloy floors. And in the center, sitting cross-legged on a circular platform, was Lung Yu. White training clothes instead of her usual combat suit. Blue hair pooling on the floor around her. She looked less like a military commander and more like an ice goddess meditating on a mountain peak. She opened her eyes and actually smirked. I got the money. You're more socially savvy than I expected. I prefer respectful of teachers, Commander. Enough talking. She stood up, and the entire room suddenly felt like it was being squeezed by an invisible giant. 6-star pressure is no joke. I took your money, so let's see what you've got. She pointed at the weapon rack. Pick your weapon and hit me with your strongest attack. She stood there, hands behind her back. Zero defensive posture. But my every instinct was screaming that attacking this woman was like jumping into a black hole. I grabbed my trusty alloy dissection knife. Activated thunder breathing internally, though I held back the tiger leopard upgrade. No need to show all my cards on day one. Apologies in advance, Commander. I pushed off the ground using my perfected radio calisthenics explosive launch technique. The alloy floor boomed from the compressed air. No fancy footwork, just raw, optimized power transfer from the ground through my entire body. I became a gray blur. My knife carved a near-vertical line of cold light through the air. Lung Yu's casual expression vanished. Her pupils shrank to pinpoints. That speed, that form. Even holding back, even hiding my real breathing technique, even sandbagging at 35%, a 6-star warrior was impressed by what she saw. Not bad for a guy whose main qualification is cutting up bears for a living. My knife went straight for a tiny structural weakness where her neck muscle meets the collarbone. A gap left by years of training a specific combat technique. Most people wouldn't even know that spot existed. But after dissecting thousands of beasts, finding weak points is basically my superpower. It's not thinking anymore. It's instinct. What surprised even me was that Lung Yu actually noticed the thunder breathing reverberating through my body. I'd suppressed the tiger leopard part, but the deep organ vibrations were still rumbling through the room like distant thunder. Then she moved. Not backward. Forward. A flash of ice blue light, and her finger guard caught my blade tip like she was plucking a fly out of the air. Boom. The force that came back through my knife felt like getting hit by a freight train. My hands went numb, and I flew backward 6 meters before landing on my feet. 6-star warriors are terrifying. The room went quiet. Lung Yu looked at a faint white scratch on her finger guard. Then she looked at me, and her expression completely changed. 25% gene development. Her voice was low, almost dangerous. Do I look like a 3-year-old to you? Busted. Kind of. That explosive power is at least 30%. And that knife technique. She walked toward me, each step making the air heavier. It looks crude, but every ounce of force targets structural weak points in the human body. This isn't some famous martial art. This is a killing technique forged through experience. It's approaching the level of Tao. She stopped right in front of me, eyes burning. How many beasts have you butchered exactly? I spend about 10 hours a day at the slaughterhouse. Hands got a little practiced, I guess. A little practiced? She scoffed, but I could hear the admiration underneath. You fused anatomy into a killing art and created your own blade technique from scratch. Nanjiang hasn't produced someone like this in decades. Then she got serious. Your thunder breathing has reached an extremely high level. Honestly, it's mutated in ways I can't fully understand. Wasting your talent on generic 2-star or 3-star combat techniques would be criminal. My ears perked up. Please advise, Commander. She walked to an electronic display and swiped it on. Holographic weapons materialized in the air. All warrior combat styles boiled down to 3 categories. First, heavy weapons, great swords, hammers, axes. Pure power. Smash everything. Second, light weapons, dual blades, short swords, your dissection knife. Speed, precision, finding weak points, one-hit kills. That's your current path. Third, shield combinations, shield and sword, shield and axe. Balanced offense and defense. The military's favorite, Highest floor for survival. She paused. There's also pure defense builds with tower shields and ranged weapons like bows, but those require 90% gene development and psychic abilities. Ignore that for now. Then she looked at me directly. Personally, I'd recommend the spear. The spear? My brain instantly replayed Luo Feng poking that ironhide bear for 20 minutes like he was doing acupuncture. My face must have shown something because Lung Yu laughed. Let me guess. You've seen too many idiots twirling spears like cheerleaders? Real spear technique is the king of all weapons. Unmatched killing range. But if you insist on sticking with your blade style, I have 2 premium options. She pulled up 2 profiles. Option 1, dual blades. The ultimate speed path. Top technique is called 9-layer thunder kill. The current world record holder for fastest S-rank beast kill, War God Lin Song, uses this style. Maximum attack frequency pairs perfectly with your thunder breathing. Option 2, shield and blade. Peak offense-defense balance. Top technique is Mountain River Shield Sword Art. 2 of humanity's current top 10 fighters use variations of this. Then she dropped the real bomb. These techniques cost fortunes. But as a surveillance officer, I have special genius development authority. I can provide temporary licenses for all of these. Full tutorial videos, practice notes, everything. She stepped closer. And I won't just hand you study materials. I'm going to personally train you. Hands-on instruction. I'll take you into B-rank zones and beyond as your official supervisor. My brain exploded. A 6-star peak warrior offering private tutoring and field escort? Rich family heirs would kill for this opportunity and still not get it. Of course, I understood the deal. Lung Yu wasn't doing this out of charity. She saw a potential future war god, and if SHE was the one who discovered and trained that war god, the political capital and martial honors would be astronomical. This was a long-term investment for both of us. Smart woman. Smart deal. Thank you, Teacher Lung Yu. I upgraded her title on the spot. Commander became teacher in one smooth move. She heard it. Her eyebrow twitched. And for the second time today, the Ice Queen smiled. I'd walked in as her recruit. I was walking out as her protege. Not bad for a guy who started the day cutting up bears. Lung Yu's fingers danced across her communicator, and my phone exploded with notifications. 5 activation codes. 5 elite combat techniques. Dual blade, 9-layer thunder kill. Shield blade, Mountain River Shield Sword Art. And 3 top-tier spear techniques. She was not letting the spear thing go. Chen Yi, I know you like short weapons, but listen, 1/3 of the world's top 100 warriors use spears. The world's #1, Azure Dragon Jing Songlong, sweeps entire forbidden zones with a single spear. Number 5, War Breaker Su Rue? Same deal. Reach matters when you're fighting building-sized monsters. She showed me 3 spear styles on screen. Azure Dragon Spear, Overlord Spear, Cloud-Piercing Thrust. I nodded respectfully, while my brain kept replaying Luo Feng tickling that bear with his toothpick. Spear PTSD is real, people. Then Lung Yu stopped talking and started showing. She stripped off her outer robe. Underneath was a tight black training suit. And for the next hour, I watched a masterclass in destruction. Dual blades that sliced the air into ribbons. Shield and sword combos that felt like a mountain was attacking you. And when she picked up the spear, holy hell, she became a dragon. An actual ice dragon. The spear tip screamed through the air so fast the alloy walls were vibrating. This was nothing like Luo Feng's sad little performance. This was the weapon of kings. Okay, fine, teach. Spears are cool. I get it. Videos are synced to your wristband, she said, slightly out of breath, sweat on her forehead, making her look even more intimidatingly beautiful. Study the technique. Focus on power transfer and energy flow. Ask me anything. Then she walked to the corner, grabbed a silver spear, and started training her own skills. Even while teaching, this woman refused to waste a single minute. Absolute workaholic. Time to experiment. I grabbed the dual blades first. Heavier than my dissection knife, but the balance felt right. Watched the tutorial video twice, replayed Lung Yu's demo in my head, and started swinging. 1 hour later, ding. Detected, top-tier combat technique, 9-layer thunder kill, first layer. Status, not yet learned. 20 development points burning a hole in my pocket. System, upgrade, 1 point consumed. 9-layer thunder kill, first layer, upgraded to mastered, whoosh. Grip angles, footwork patterns, blade trajectories, breathing synchronization. Everything flooded into my muscle memory like someone downloaded a martial arts movie directly into my nervous system. I opened my eyes and moved. The dual blades became two streaks of lightning. My body flickered left and right so fast the air literally cracked with sonic booms. The blades weren't weapons anymore. They were twin thunder serpents hunting for every structural weak point in existence. This is significantly more violent than my butcher technique, I thought, grinning. And the speed. It's like a machine gun made of swords. I stopped to catch my breath and realized Lung Yu had frozen solid. She was standing in the corner, spear in hand, mouth slightly open, staring at me like I'd just grown a second head. Chinyi, her voice was hoarse, actually trembling. Have you practiced 9-layer thunderkill before? I scratched my nose. Poker face. Activated. Nope. Just watched your demo and the video twice. Felt similar to my dissection technique, so I gave it a shot. Was I too slow, teacher? Too slow? The look on her face was priceless. She wanted to hit me. I could see the spear twitching in her hand. Because what I'd just casually demonstrated wasn't beginner, it wasn't even intermediate, it was full mastery. The kind of mastery that takes years. She'd picked up this same technique after hitting 50% development, already a veteran powerhouse, and it took her a week just to learn the basics. I'd watched a video twice and was doing backflips with it. Are you sure you've never practiced this before? She was practically begging me to confess. Honestly, never. Maybe it's because I'm used to cutting up pigs. The hand-feel transfers, you know? I could see the internal struggle. Half of her wanted to celebrate discovering a once-in-a-century genius. The other half wanted to beat me with her spear for being so annoyingly casual about it. Don't get cocky, she managed, forcing her teacher voice back on. Speed without foundation is dangerous. Go try the other techniques. But her eyes told a different story. Behind that icy composure, Lung Yu had just realized something that probably kept her up all night. She hadn't just found a talented rookie. She'd found a monster. And she had front row seats. The next 4 hours were basically me speed-running Lung Yu's entire worldview into the ground. I put down the dual blades and picked up a shield and single-handed sword. Let me try this mountain river shield sword thing. Ding. Detected. Mountain river shield sword art. First layer. Status. Not yet learned. System. Upgrade. 1 point gone. Instantly my brain filled with shield angles, block timing, counterattack patterns. The works. I planted my feet, raised the shield, and suddenly I wasn't a lightning-fast assassin anymore. I was a fortress. Clang. Clang. My shield kept appearing exactly where the imaginary enemy needed to strike, followed immediately by a vicious throat-slash counter. Defense and murder, perfectly balanced, as all things should be. Lung Yu was mid-sip on her water when she saw this. Her hand jerked, and she nearly dropped the cup. I could see her thinking, how does a pig butcher move like a military grandmaster? Before she could process that, I grabbed a spear. Azure Dragon Spear, fluid and serpentine, like a river of death. Ding. Mastered. Overlord Spear, raw power, each thrust shaking the room with concussive force. Ding. Mastered. Cloud-piercing thrust, single-point destruction, the spear tip breaking the sound barrier with a shriek that hurt your teeth. Ding. Mastered. My method was simple. Pick up weapon. Fumble with it for 30 minutes until the system registered, not yet learned. Then, dump 1 development point. Instant mastery. Move to next weapon. Repeat. 5 elite combat techniques. 5 development points. For hours. All mastered to proficient level. The training room looked like a war zone. The alloy floor was covered in spear scratches. I wiped my sweat and turned to Lung Yu with my best innocent face. Teacher, they all feel pretty natural? I can't really pick a favorite. How'd I do? She stared at me like I'd just casually bench-pressed the moon. How'd you do? She took a very deep, very controlled breath. You call that how'd I do? She'd prepared hours of coaching notes, common mistakes, difficulty spikes, training tips for each technique. All of it was now completely useless because I'd blasted through every single one like they were tutorial levels in a video game. Monster. Absolute monster, she muttered internally. I could see the words forming behind her eyes. She cleared her throat and assembled what was left of her dignity. Your form is acceptable, But pretty moves in a training room mean nothing without real combat experience. She turned away from me. I'm 90% sure it was because she couldn't look at my face without her martial arts pride crumbling. Tomorrow, noon, association entrance. I'm personally taking you to B-rank territory to find 3-star beasts. Maybe even peak 3-star. Only real life or death fights will show you which weapon truly belongs in your hands. Yes, teacher. Thank you. The second I walked out the door, I heard her slump against the wall. Through the closing door, I caught her whisper. What kind of freak is this kid? Watched 2 videos and mastered everything? I've trained Spear for 20 years and his casual demo just now looked better than mine. Walking home, the night breeze was cooling. I mentally reviewed all 5 fighting styles. The explosive dual blades, the fortress shield sword, the versatile spears. Any normal warrior trying to juggle 5 completely different combat systems would have their energy channels explode from the contradictions. But my perfected radio calisthenics gave me inhuman body coordination, and my tiger leopard thunder breathing had reinforced every bone and organ to ridiculous levels. Switching between 5 styles felt like changing TV channels. Click, click, click. No interference. No conflict. Being overpowered is surprisingly convenient. Home. Door open. Smell of food. Chinga was sitting at the dinner table in a yellow silk nightgown, eating a bowl of beast meat porridge after her training session. She looked up when I walked in, first with a flash of happiness, then immediately switched to detective mode. She stood up, walked over, and sniffed me like a police dog. You showered? My heart rate spiked. Women's intuition is the real superpower in this world. No, I was drenched in sweat, so I used Teacher Lung Yu's dry cleaning spray. Couldn't exactly drip all over a 6-star warrior's private training room, right? Smooth. Natural. I pulled her close and kissed her cheek before she could interrogate further. Why are you still up? Waiting for me. Her stern face crumbled instantly. Who's waiting for you? I was hungry from training. She pushed me toward the table where another bowl of porridge was keeping warm. I made extra. Eat. Ding. Partner Su Chinga completed training. Gene development 0.1%. Current 35.1%. This woman trained all evening while pregnant. I don't deserve her. She caught me staring. What are you looking at? Tell me. How was the lesson with your pretty teacher? I leaned in conspiratorially. Babe, you won't believe this. Lung Yu said I'm a once-in-a-generation genius. She taught me 5 top-tier combat techniques in one night. Chinga reached over and felt my forehead. No fever. So why are you talking crazy? Everyone knows you can't learn multiple techniques at once. A 6-star commander would never make such a basic mistake. I'm serious. Tomorrow she's taking me to B rank personally to field test which weapon suits me best. She squinted at me. For real? Nobody ever believes me in this house. Next day, noon. Fully armed. Ready to rock. At the door, Chinga straightened my collar one last time with cold fingers. Be careful, she whispered. Take a nice bath and wait for hubby. I kissed her blushing face and bounced into the elevator. Married life is great. At the association, Lung Yu was leaning against the most aggressive-looking vehicle I'd ever seen. A matte black heavy-duty hover SUV that looked like it ate regular cars for breakfast. She'd tied her blue hair up in a high ponytail and was wearing a dark purple full-coverage combat suit that screamed, I cost more than your apartment. Luo Foam and Lin Xiao were there too. But the vibe was different. Spear Boy was fidgeting nervously, and Sword Girl wouldn't even make eye contact with Lung Yu. Apparently word had gotten back to them about my little 5-technique showcase last night. Yesterday, my only opponent is myself. Today, please don't make me stand near him. Get in, Lung Yu said. She drove like a maniac. The SUV, called Thunder, because of course it was, tore through the wasteland toward the Darkwood Forest, the most infamous danger zone in all of B-rank territory. Through the rearview mirror, she assigned roles. Luo Foam, Lin Xiao, you're on perimeter duty. Clear any 2-star strays. Do not enter the deep forest without my permission. If you see more than 2 3-star beasts, signal and retreat. Don't expect me to come save you. Yes, ma'am. Then she looked at me, riding shotgun, casually enjoying the scenery like we were on a road trip. As for you, Chinyi, today I'm throwing you straight into the territories of the Ironhide Bear King and the Blood Wolf King. We're finding out which weapon is your soulmate. The darkwood forest was every bit as creepy as advertised. Twisted white-barked trees, branches blocking all sunlight, purple mist everywhere. It looked like the kind of place where hope goes to die. Luo Feng and Lin Xia jumped out and vanished into the fog. I could practically smell their relief at being sent to the easy zone. Lung Yu handed me a heavy metal case. Inside, Series 30 standard issue weapons. Dual blades, shield and sword combo, and a folding spear. My whole arsenal, ready to go? We drove deeper until we stopped at a dried-up riverbed. The air reeked, a thick, rotten smell. Predator territory markings. Ding. Partner Su Chinga is training diligently. Gene development 0.05%. My wife was at home, pregnant, still grinding experience for me. I hadn't even started fighting, and I was already leveling up. God bless that woman. Lung Yu pointed at a massive dark cave. That's the Ironhide Bear King's den. It just woke up from hibernation. Hungriest and most violent it'll ever be. She looked at me with a teacher's smile that said, "This might kill you, and I'm excited to watch. Pick a weapon. Go drag it out." I opened the case. 5 weapons gleaming in the dim light. The dual blades whispered, "Speed." The spear whispered, "Reach." But for my first real boss fight, I grabbed the shield and single-handed sword. First real combat test. Let's play it safe. The shield locked onto my arm with a satisfying click. Sword in the other hand. And I shot into that pitch-black cave like a hunting cat. Lung Yu watched me disappear and chuckled. Shield and sword, huh? Looks wild on the outside, steady as a rock on the inside. Smart kid. 3 minutes later, Ruahar. The ground started shaking. Boom, boom, boom. Footsteps like artillery strikes. Out of the cave exploded the Ironhide Bear King. 5 meters tall, covered in dark red armored plates. Built like a tank crossed with a nightmare. Its bloodshot eyes were insane with hunger, and every step cracked the riverbed stones like they were crackers. This wasn't the regular Ironhide bears I'd been butchering at work. This was the king. 3-star class. The thing that regular bears told scary stories about. And there I was, jogging backward in front of it with my shield up, looking perfectly chill. Like I was walking a very large, very angry dog. Wham! Its paw, capable of crushing armored vehicles, slammed into my shield with enough force to snap every tree in a 30-foot radius. The shockwave blasted outward like a bomb. I grunted. My arms bulged to their limit. But I rolled with the impact, redirecting the force backward, absorbing it perfectly. Shield technique. Working. My turn. My eyes lit up. I spun right, using the momentum, and my sword carved a silver crescent aimed straight for the Bear King's armpit. The universal weak spot of every Ironhide bear I'd ever dissected. SCRECH. Sparks flew as steel met armor. Then that satisfying, meaty thunk of blade finding flesh. First blood. On a Bear King. With a shield build. The real fight had begun, and I was grinning ear to ear. This was way more fun than the slaughterhouse. The Bear King fight was a beautiful test drive for the shield build. That thing charged me with everything it had. Paws like meteors, each hit strong enough to flatten a truck. But with Mountain River Shield sword art running through my muscles, I was a rock. An immovable, extremely handsome rock. My secret? Perfected radio calisthenics. Every ounce of force that monster threw at me, I redirected through my toes, knees, and hips straight into the ground. The riverbed cracked. My shield didn't budge a millimeter. Lung Yu was watching from a distance, arms crossed, clearly prepared to jump in and save me. Instead, she got to watch me make a 5-meter armored death machine look stupid. The Bear King lost its mind. Couldn't break through my guard, so it went nuclear, full-body charge. The famous Bear King tackle. Tons of raging muscle barreling at me like a freight train. Been waiting for exactly this. I activated thunder breathing, stepped forward into the charge, tilted my shield at an angle, and let the impact spin off sideways like water off a windmill. At the exact same moment, my sword came out and carved one beautiful arc across the Bear King's belly, right along the weakest fold in its armor. Splush. Guts. Blood. Everywhere. The Bear King screamed, stumbled forward, smashed through 3 trees, and collapsed. Lung Yu strolled over, looking at me like I'd personally offended her by being too good. That counter timing was flawless. Even I can't nitpick it. Shield blade style suits you. She casually shot a tranquilizer into the dying Bear King's neck. So, how'd it feel? I flicked blood off my sword. Honest answer? Safe. But slow. I felt restricted, like fighting in a straitjacket. Years of speed killing at the slaughterhouse had wired my brain for maximum output. The shield build kept me alive, sure, but it felt like driving a sports car in first gear. Lung Yu smirked. Figured. Then let's fix that. She pointed toward a rocky slope deeper in the forest. From the shadows came dozens of faint green lights. Eyes. Hundreds of eyes. And a chorus of low, skin-crawling growls. Blood wolf territory. The Wolf King is mid 3-star. Fast, smart, and never alone. They hunt in packs. She raised an eyebrow at me like a dare. Grab the dual blades. Show me if your 9-layer thunder kill can outrun a wolf army. I didn't need to be told twice. I yanked the twin blades from the weapons case, ran my finger along the edge, razor sharp, and launched myself into the darkness. The moment I crossed into their territory, the world lit up with glowing green dots. Everywhere. Behind rocks, on ledges, in the grass. Like evil Christmas lights. A woo. One howl, and suddenly 15 gray blurs were streaking at me from every direction. Adult blood wolves, 2 meters long, insanely fast, built for group kills. I planted my feet, changed my breathing. Tiger leopard thunder breathing shifted from mountain mode to lightning mode. The first wolf lunged for my throat. I flickered. 9-layer thunder kill, first layer, flash step. My blades crossed in a perfect X. The wolf's head separated from its body before it even realized it was dead. Blood painted the gray rocks red. Second wolf. Third wolf. I didn't stop. Didn't pause. I became a black lightning bolt weaving through the pack. This was nothing like the shield fight. This was pure predator mode. Every slash followed a spine or a neck artery. Instincts carved from butchering thousands of animals, now supercharged with Thunder Kill's explosive speed. My feet barely touched the ground. I bounced off rock tips, twisted between snapping jaws, and every time my blades moved, a wolf dropped. The sound of steel cutting flesh became a continuous buzz, like a blender made of swords. Lung Yu's pupils shrank. He doesn't even need to AIM. Every cut follows the spine or carotid like he has X-ray vision. I could feel her struggling to find my ceiling. Spoiler, she couldn't. Then a woo. At the top of the slope, the Wolf King finally lost patience. Twice the size of its pack, silver-gray fur bristling, it shattered a boulder with its hind legs and launched at my exposed back like a silver missile. Worst possible timing. I'd just killed 3 wolves and was between strikes. Old force spent. New force not yet gathered. Danger! I heard Lung Yu's foot hit the ground behind me. But I didn't need saving. Boom. Thunder breathing exploded inside me. My body did something that should have been physically impossible. A mid-air forced rotation, torso twisting on pure core strength. Both blades merged into one strike, meeting the Wolf King's claws head-on. Clang. The impact sent me sliding backward, boots digging trenches in the dirt. The Wolf King tumbled several times, landing with one paw shredded and bloody. We stared at each other. It was furious. I was thrilled. Come on. I charged straight back in, grinning like a maniac. Because this was it. The dual blades. The speed. The razor-thin margin between killing and being killed. This wasn't just fighting. This was my butcher's art, elevated to its final form. The shield kept me safe, but these blades made me feel alive. Right when I was about to dive back in for round 2 with the Wolf King, Lung Yu's voice cut through the chaos. Stop. Switch to spear. A silver streak whistled past my ear. She'd thrown the spear from 50 meters away and it buried itself in the rocks right in front of me, still vibrating. Show off. I pulled it out. The Wolf King saw me swap weapons and thought. Opportunity. It lunged. Bad call, Wolfie. Spear in hand, my entire vibe changed. If dual blades were lightning, then this was a thunderstorm with a mailing address. First strike, Azure Dragon Spear. I rolled my hips into the thrust, and the spear came alive, whipping, spiraling, sealing off every possible escape route the Wolf King had. The tip kissed its right shoulder and drew a line of blood. I wasn't trying to kill it yet. I was feeling this weapon. And oh man, 1 inch longer, 1 inch stronger, is absolutely real. The reach was intoxicating. Second strike, Overlord Spear. The Wolf King came back swinging, claws ripping through the air. I swung the spear shaft sideways, channeling tiger leopard thunder breathing straight through the metal. Gong! The collision sounded like a church bell the size of a building. The Wolf King's own force bounced right back into its body. I could hear its bones creaking from here. Then I flipped the spear and slammed the butt end into its stomach, launching it backward. Third strike, cloud-piercing thrust. The Wolf King was tumbling through the air. Perfect target. I planted my feet, sank all my energy down through my spine, and focused everything, into the tip of the spear. Die one thrust. One lightning bolt of pure destruction. The spear punched through the Wolf King's skull and kept going, pinning its massive body to a boulder behind it like a butterfly in a collection. Legs dangling, blood running down the stone. Total silence. The surviving wolves took one look at their king mounted on a rock like a trophy, howled in despair, and scattered into the fog. Smart dogs. Lung Yu walked over. Her face had gone past shock into full system crash. Blue screen of death behind those beautiful eyes. You just used 3 completely different spear styles. In sequence. Seamlessly. In your first live combat, Azure Dragon's flexibility. Overlord's raw power. Cloud Piercing's lethal precision. 3 philosophies, 3 techniques, stitched together like they were always meant to be one move. I yanked the spear out of the Wolf King's forehead, flicked off a chunk of brain matter, and grinned at her. Feels pretty good, teacher. The spear's way more satisfying than a butcher knife. She grabbed her own forehead like she was developing a migraine. I'm fairly certain she was questioning whether I was secretly a reincarnated weapons grandmaster pretending to be an orphan. Teacher, where to next? I could do 100 more bears, she snapped. 100 bears? You just want free meat, don't you? Fair accusation. Not wrong. We're going back. I need to completely redo your training plan. Your progress has already exceeded every projection I had. On the drive home, the car was dead silent. Lung Yu drove with her eyes straight ahead, but I could tell her brain was melting. She kept replaying my 3-spear combo in her head. I could practically see the instant replay running behind her eyeballs. Apparently, she was comparing me to some legendary figure called Kong Longshin, a weapons master who could wield any weapon at 4-star level. One of humanity's top 12 fighters. And she thought I was on the same trajectory. At 2-star. Officially. In the back seat, Luo Feng and Lin Xia caught Lung Yu smiling in the rearview mirror. The Ice Queen was smiling. They both sank into their seats like their souls had left their bodies. Back at the association, Lung Yu dismissed the other 2 and took me to her private training room. Door closed. Serious face on. So, after today's field tests, are you convinced the spear is your destiny weapon? I nodded honestly. The reach and power are unmatched. It felt incredible. Her eyes lit up with teacher pride. Your 3 spears in one display today was historically unprecedented. If you specialize in spear arts with my guidance, I'm confident I can push you to peak 3-star within 6 months. Maybe even touch 4-star. She was practically vibrating with excitement. And inside my head, I was thinking something very different. See, Lung Yu wanted me to choose. Pick one weapon. Commit. Specialize. But here's the thing about me. I'm greedy. Dual blades felt like flying. Shield and sword felt like being invincible. And the spear felt like being a god of war. Kids pick one option. Adults? Adults take everything. Back in the training room, Lung Yu was watching me with those proud teacher eyes, fully expecting me to grab the spear and pledge my eternal loyalty to the way of the pointy stick. I walked to the weapon rack, reached out with my right hand, grabbed the spear. Lung Yu's face lit up like a Christmas tree. Her Ice Queen mask cracked, and actual joy leaked through. In her mind, we were now master and student, bound by sacred spear tradition, walking the path of pokeology together forever. Then my left hand grabbed the shield and sword. Her smile froze so fast I swear I heard it crack. Chunyi, what are you doing? She stormed over, full lecture mode activated. Martial arts is about purity of purpose. You can't split your focus between multiple weapon paths. This is the #1 mistake talented people make. When you hit 3-star, 4-star, or try to break into Grandmaster level, your scattered focus will create conflicts in your martial intent, and you'll fail. She was genuinely upset. Not angry upset. Worried upset. The kind of frustration a teacher feels when their star student announces they're dropping out to become a professional juggler. And honestly, she was right. For normal people. But I'm not normal people. I have a cheat code called development points and a wife-powered experience generator at home. Other warriors spend years meditating on weapon intent. I spend 1 point and download the whole thing directly into my muscles. What they call spreading yourself too thin, I call Tuesday. Of course, I couldn't tell her any of that. So I went with the calm, mature approach. Teacher, I understand your concerns. But these weapons don't feel like they conflict in my hands. I want to experiment while I'm still at a low level and see if I can forge my own path. She stared into my eyes for a long time, searching for arrogance or stupidity. She found neither, just cold, steady certainty. Finally, she sighed like a parent who just lost an argument with a toddler. Fine, do what you want. Translation: I think you're making a mistake, but you're too talented for me to yell at. Home. Door open. Wife on the couch watching advanced warrior pregnancy diet videos. Adorable. You're back. Any injuries? She rushed over to inspect me. I scooped her up and pulled her onto the couch, my hand naturally finding her waist, which, after a month of premium beast meat feeding, had developed some very nice new curves. Your husband doesn't get injured. Only beasts die when I show up. I told her about the day, the Bear King, the Wolf King, the 3 spear styles, all of it. When I got to the part about wanting to train both spear and shield sword simultaneously, she gave me the exact same worried look Lung you did. Honey, I know I'm not as far along as you, but even I know you can't chew more than you bite. Can you really handle 2 weapon paths at once? 2 women, same concern. Both completely valid for anyone who isn't married to a walking cheat engine. Babe, do you know who I am? Once-in-a-generation genius, remember? I thumped my chest confidently. Spear for long range, shield sword for close combat. 1 long, 1 short. Double insurance. Inside my head. As long as you keep training, I could master 10 weapon styles and still have points left over. I reached down and gently touched her belly. After a month of gourmet beast food and premium supplements, there was a real little bump now. Our babies, 2 lives growing inside her. For now, just focus on thunder breathing. Take care of yourself. Get your body and mind in peak condition. My voice went soft. Once the babies are born and you've recovered, I'll personally give you. Very hands-on. Very close-up. Private instruction in top-tier combat techniques. I leaned hard on, hands-on, and close-up. Extremely hard. Her face went nuclear red. You're shameless. The babies can hear you. She punched my shoulder, but didn't move away. Just curled deeper into my arms, her hand resting on mine over her belly. And for a quiet moment, all the jokes stopped. She'd been through hell, betrayed by her own family, thrown away like garbage. Now she was a real warrior, married to someone who'd burned the world down for her, carrying new life inside her. I'll do whatever you say, she murmured, voice full of that soft, new mother warmth. I held her tighter and thought, this right here, this warmth, this trust, this little family, is worth more than every weapon technique in the world. But also, I'm definitely learning all of them. Because adults don't choose. Adults take everything. Next morning, I kissed my sleeping wife's forehead and slipped out. She was buried so deep in her silk blanket, she looked like a beautiful pregnant burrito. Pregnancy plus training equals world champion napping. Time to make it official, 3-star warrior. At the elevator, the doors opened and out walked Jiang Nan, my neighbor, the one I ghosted after she warned me about the assassination. She was in tight, gray workout clothes, ponytail swinging, fresh off a morning jog, glistening with sweat in a way that was probably intentional. Chengyi, where are you headed so early? Warrior Association. Getting my 3-star certification. The sound she made was like someone stepped on a cat. 3-star? Didn't you just certify 2-star like a month ago? She'd been stuck at 2-star for 2 years. 19%. Grinding daily. And here I was, casually strolling past her like she was standing still on an escalator. I could see her brain doing the math, then glancing back toward her apartment where her useless boyfriend was still sleeping, probably drooling on the pillow. The disappointment on her face was almost physical. You really don't let anyone else live, do you? She muttered. I waved goodbye, and the elevator doors closed on her existential crisis. At the association, Li Diana was at her desk looking gorgeous as usual. Purple pencil skirt, black stockings, the whole package. She'd been riding high ever since my 2-star certification boosted her performance stats. Mr. Chun, welcome BA. I dropped my test sheet on her desk before she could finish. Need to update my rank. Also wondering if 3-star warriors get discounts on Series 30 custom gear. She picked up the sheet casually. Then her brain processed the numbers. Name: Chun Yi Punch Force. 3,510 kilograms gene development. 35%. 3-star, mid-level. Her pen hit the floor. Her eyes went so wide I could see white all the way around. She slammed both hands on the desk and leaned forward, breathing heavily, chest heaving, staring at that number like it owed her money. 3-star, her voice cracked so hard it could have shattered glass. Mr. Chun, you certified 2-star. Half a month ago. This isn't. She rubbed her eyes. Looked again. Still 35%. Then she whispered the thing I knew she was thinking. Are you using forbidden blood sacrifice drugs? I sprawled on the leather couch like I owned the place. Relax. I'm just a genius. Plus, Lung, you gave me some private coaching last night. Had a breakthrough. She stared at me. Private coaching doesn't make someone jump 10% overnight. Nothing does. Not legally anyway. But what could she say? The test results were right there. Certified by the machine. No faking that. Monster. Absolute monster, she breathed, fingers trembling as she typed. Then her survival instincts kicked in, and she instantly poured me premium spirit tea. Please wait just a moment, Mr. Chun. Your advancement is so extreme it's flagged as exceptional talent. Needs vice president level approval. 3 minutes later, tap, tap, tap. Expensive heels echoing down the corridor. The heavy wooden door swung open. In walked a woman in a dark blue cheapao that was doing things for her figure that should probably be classified as a weapon. Early 30s, ivory skin, the kind of composed elegance that comes from years of being the most powerful person in every room. The slit in her dress revealed exactly enough leg to be devastating without being obvious. This was Shin Rushuang, vice president of the Nanjing Warrior Association. The big boss herself had come down to personally verify the freak who jumped from 2-star to 3-star in 2 weeks. I took a sip of my fancy tea and thought, at this rate, I'm going to run out of women to shock. Vice President Shin Rushuang looked at me like I was a rare steak she wanted to examine personally. Early 30s, cheapao that fit like it was painted on, smelled like expensive orchids, and smiled like she owned the building. Which, technically, she kind of did. So you're Chunyi. Heroes really do come young. Your vitality is so intense it puts us seniors to shame. Lady, you do not look like a senior in that dress. But I kept it professional. You're too kind, Vice President Shun. Protocol requires a supervised retest for 3-star certification, she said, gesturing for me to follow. I've cleared out the internal testing room. No waiting. Quick and painless, I walked behind her toward the private testing room. And look, I'm a married man. A devoted husband. A faithful partner. But that cheapao was doing things. The way it moved when she walked was basically an engineering marvel. Some kind of physics-defying hip-to-fabric ratio that should be studied by scientists. I blinked hard and refocused. Chinga. Pregnant wife. Bear paws. Stay on target. Behind us, Lee Diana was watching me leave with the vice president, and I could practically hear her brain calculating. Must. Hold. Onto. This. Man's. Coattails. At. All. Costs. The internal testing room was a whole different level. Military-grade equipment, dark gold alloy construction, designed to handle up to 7-star warriors going full power. Shin Rushuang leaned against a pillar, arms crossed, which did certain things to her cheapao that I will not describe because my wife might somehow sense it, and said with an amused smile, "Go ahead, Mr. Chun. Don't hold back." I closed my eyes. Tiger leopard thunder breathing synced with my perfected radio calisthenics. One full circulation of energy through my entire body. I could feel the vibration deep in my bones, like a sleeping beast waking up inside my marrow. Shin Rushuang's playful expression vanished instantly. That breathing frequency, that's internal thunder resonance, but something's different about it. Before she could analyze further, boom. I transferred everything through my spine into my right fist and slammed the target. The massive testing rig shook. Pressure valves hissed white steam. Numbers went crazy on the screen before landing on 3,620 kilograms. 100 kilos more than my lobby test. Turns out fancy equipment brings out the best in me. Shin Rushuang went quiet. For a long time. She'd seen plenty of geniuses in her career, but watching someone rocket from 1 star to 3 star in real time was apparently a new experience even for her. Punch Force 3620. Confirmed 3 star, mid-level. She walked over, fingertips tracing the printed report like it was a love letter. Then she looked up at me with a warmth that was definitely more than professional. Congratulations, Mr. Chun. You've broken Nanjiang's 3-star certification speed record for the past decade. You're now officially a 3-star warrior of the Federation. Then came the recruitment pitch, smooth as silk. Lung, you got lucky finding you. But if you ever feel unsatisfied with your current arrangement or want a change of scenery, my office door is always open. She basically just told me to switch teams. Right in front of Lung Yu's building. Bold woman. Now for the perks, she continued. 3-star base stipend, 50,000 credits per month. And since you're flagged as exceptional talent, you get 50% off all Series 30 and Series 40 equipment. 50% off. My 20 million just became 40 million in purchasing power. I almost kissed that test machine. I look forward to seeing you certify 4-star, Mr. Chun, she smiled from the doorway. I suspect I won't be waiting long. As I walked out, I caught her leaning against the door frame behind me, eyes lingering on my back with an expression that said, Lung Yu, you lucky ice. Which, in the lobby, Li Dianya was pacing like an anxious puppy. The moment she saw the shiny new 3-star badge on my chest, her face exploded with joy so intense I thought she might actually faint. Mr. Chun, you did it. Her eyes were doing that thing again. The one where she looked at me like I was a winning lottery ticket that somehow grew legs and walked into her office. 3-star warrior. 50,000 monthly stipend. Half price on premium gear. The vice president personally trying to poach me. And it wasn't even lunchtime. Not bad for a pig butcher. First order of business as a freshly minted 3-star warrior. Real estate upgrade. So, about my apartment, I said to Li Dianya. Can I get a better one now? Her eyes lit up like I'd just proposed marriage. Of course. You qualify for the top-floor duplex at Jinxiu Garden. Double the space, 50% higher spiritual energy concentration, and a brand-new gravity machine that goes up to 10 times normal gravity. My brain did instant math. Higher energy equals Chinga trains faster equals I get more system feedback equals I level up faster. This apartment wasn't a luxury upgrade. It was a tactical investment in my wife's cultivation. Do it. Now, right away. And, Mr. Chun, you can just call me Xiaoya. She leaned forward, voice dripping honey, black-stockinged legs crossed, body language screaming. I am available for apartment viewings and literally anything else. Then she offered to personally come, help me set up the apartment, and clean the rooms. The way she was leaning, her intentions were about as subtle as a billboard. I looked at her. She gazed back with hopeful eyes. Xiaoya, I said. Yes, she breathed. Are you a 2-star warrior? Record scratch. Ice water. Her flirtatious smile crashed into a wall of confusion. Cool, just curious. Thanks for the paperwork. Bye. I was out the door before she could reboot. Here's the cold math that nobody wants to hear. My system gives me 10 times whatever my partner cultivates. Li Dianya is a 1-star warrior who clearly spends more time on her makeup than her training. The return on investment would be basically zero. Like buying a sports car that runs on AAA batteries. Now, if hypothetically, someone like Lung Yu or Vice President Shin became closer, the experience feedback would be astronomical. We're talking rocket fuel. Nah, focus. I shook my head. Get wife settled first. Crazy schemes later. Yes. I noticed my ambitions were growing alongside my power. Sue me. Every man thinks this way. I'm just honest about it. I grabbed a hovercab home, walked through the door, and before Chinga could even say hello, I pulled out a dark gold access card and spun it on my finger like a poker chip. Pack your bags, babe. We're moving. Her eyes went straight to my chest. New badge. 3 stars. Shiny. You actually passed? She jumped up so fast her belly protested, and she had to grab her own waist. I caught her instantly. Careful. The baby just filed a complaint. And yes, 3-star. Your husband. 2 weeks. You surprised? But this is insane. She whispered, brain still computing. 32nd floor. Penthouse duplex. Better energy. 10 times gravity machine. Movers arrive in 5 minutes. Let's go. 30 minutes later, we were standing in front of Unit 3201. The door scanned my 3-star credentials and slid open like welcoming royalty. Even Chinga, former heiress of a wealthy family, went, wow, 400 square meters. 2 floors, 200 each. Floor-to-ceiling windows showing half of Nanjiang City spread below us like a light-up map. The air was thick with spiritual energy. One deep breath, and your lungs felt like they'd been washed with mountain spring water. Upstairs, master bedroom and full training zone. Downstairs, living area. The private gravity room was 3 times bigger than our old one, with a sci-fi black machine humming with red lights in the center. 10 times gravity. Chinga touched the machine reverently. Chenyi. In this environment, I could break through to 2-star within 3 months. I wrapped my arms around her from behind, hands resting on her belly, feeling our baby's faint pulse. Not just 2-star, I murmured. I'm going to make you the strongest woman on this entire planet. Standing at that window, 32 floors up, looking down at the city like ants below us, something shifted in Chinga too. That gentle pregnant wife energy suddenly crackled with ambition. She started breathing, thunder breathing, automatically, instinctively. And in this energy-rich penthouse, something that had been stuck inside her for weeks, a stubborn barrier she'd been hammering at, just dissolved, like fog in sunlight. I felt the system stir. Oh baby, literally. This apartment was already paying for itself. Chinga's energy exploded. Thunder rumbling through her body, barriers shattering. A genuine breakthrough right there by the window. She spun around, beaming, ready to show off, and then she felt what was happening inside me. Because her breakthrough triggered my system. 10 times feedback. And this time, it wasn't a gentle 0.1%. Boom. 5%. In one shot. Gene development. 40.1%. 4-star. My bones felt like they'd been replaced with steel cables. My blood was thick and heavy like liquid metal. The air around me was literally shaking. The bulletproof windows were creaking from the pressure. Chinga stood there watching her husband accidentally turn into an ancient war god and looked genuinely terrified. Fair. I probably looked terrifying. 5 minutes later, I finally pulled the energy back in. Opened my eyes. 4-star. The line between beginner warriors and the real deal. In Nanjiang, 4-star warriors hold leadership positions. They command 100-man squads on the battlefield. And I just crossed that threshold because my wife looked out a window and got inspired. Babe, you're my lucky star. I grabbed her and started spinning her around in front of the giant window like a rom-com finale. Stop. The baby is dizzy. She was smacking my shoulders, but couldn't hide her shock. Your energy just now was scarier than the Su family elders. Did you secretly break through again? All thanks to my hard-working wife. I buried my face in her neck. This woman just gave me a 5% boost by having an emotional moment near a pretty view. I love her so much it's financially irresponsible. Since we've got this beautiful new bedroom, I gave her the look. Shouldn't we properly inaugurate it? It's still daytime. These curtains are full blackout. Pull them shut and it's midnight. I scooped her up and headed for the king-size bed that could comfortably sleep 5 people. No further details needed. Later that night, moonlight flooding through the windows. Chinga was passed out on my arm, flushed and smiling in her sleep like a satisfied kitten. I was wide awake. Shopping time. First, nutrition. I searched premium gene serum and ordered 50 cases of purple crystal nutrient solution, the absolute top-shelf stuff. Gentle enough for pregnant women, maximum cell activation, 0 side effects. 500,000 credits with my 50% discount. Every drop Chinga drinks makes her stronger. Every bit of her strength comes back to me times 10. This isn't shopping. This is compound interest. Next, weapons. My Series 30 gear was already outdated. I was 4-star now. I grabbed the full Series 40 loadout, a 40-type Siegebreaker spear, and a 40-type Dark Iron Shield sword set. 1,500,000 after discount. Then, combat techniques. The full permanent licenses for all 4 elite arts. Azure Dragon Spear, Overlord Spear, Cloud-Piercing Thrust, and Mountain River Shield Sword. Price per technique for the complete version? 10 million each. 40 million for 4 techniques. Even with 50% off, that was 20 million. My entire Wong Kai blood money couldn't even cover it. I sat there for a full minute, staring at the screen, having a rich man who's actually still poor crisis. Then I noticed they sell in tiers. Levels 1 to 3, 2 million each. Levels 4 to 6, 3 million each. Levels 7 to 9, 5 million each. Okay, levels 1 through 6. That's 5 million per technique. For techniques, 20 million. Plus gear and 50 cases of supplements. Total, 2,000 million. Wait, I ran the numbers 6 times. Equipment weapons, 1.5 million. 50 cases of purple crystal, 500k. For techniques, levels 1 to 6, 20 million. No wait, with discount. Final answer, 2 million credits. Total, after the 50% discount on everything. I hit confirm purchase before my brain could talk me out of it. Ding, payment successful. Combat technique licenses registered. Series 40 equipment and nutrient supply arriving tomorrow morning. I looked at my bank balance. From 21 million to almost nothing. 2 weeks ago, I was calculating whether I could afford 5,000 credit medicine. Tonight, I just blew 20 million in one shopping spree, and my only regret was that I couldn't buy more. Gonna need a new income source, I muttered, looking at my sleeping wife. The cultivation side is covered. She handles that just by existing. But the money side, I stared at the ceiling. 4-star warrior. Top-tier gear arriving tomorrow. Elite combat techniques unlocked through level 6. A wife who generates experience points by breathing. Now I just needed to figure out how to not be broke again. Being overpowered is surprisingly expensive. Next morning, beautiful sunshine. Penthouse living. Standing on my balcony, breathing premium air like a king. Then the delivery drone arrived. 50 cases of purple crystal nutrient solution, a full series 40 combat armor set, a siegebreaker spear, and a shield sword combo. My living room looked like a weapons depot had a baby with a pharmacy. Chinga shuffled out in her silk robe, barefoot, still half asleep, took one look at the mountain of boxes, and short-circuited. What is all this? I popped open a nutrient case. Rows of purple glowing vials sparkled like liquid gemstones. Your new daily beverage. 50 cases. No more water. You drink these. Don't you dare try to save them. These are 1,000 credits each. That's 500,000. Are you insane? I grabbed her shoulders with maximum serious husband energy. Money is useless sitting in a bank. Strength is forever. You're growing our babies. Every bit stronger you get makes them stronger from birth. What I didn't say. Also, your training literally powers me up 10 times over. So this is the highest ROI investment in human history. Instead, I said, when you get stronger, it motivates me to get stronger. Can't let my wife pass me up. Smooth recovery. She got teary-eyed and cuddled into my chest. I'll train hard. I promise. Then I opened the weapon cases. The Series 40 armor was gorgeous. Liquid alloy composite, sharp angular lines, a glowing chest plate that looked like it belonged in a sci-fi movie. The spear was dark purple at the tip, practically humming with murder energy. 500 pounds of, hello, I'm going to ruin your day. I was in the middle of admiring my new toys when, ROARR, a sound so massive, so ancient, so terrifyingly loud that our 32nd floor penthouse vibrated. The wooden floors trembled. The windows flexed. The entire city skyline seemed to flinch. Chinga went white and grabbed my arm. What was that? Before I could answer, buzz. Phone. Red text. Bold letters. Emergency conscription order. 3-star warrior Chunyi, Nanjiang City, is under level 1 combat alert. Report to Warrior Association headquarters within 1 hour. No exceptions. Chinga's phone lit up too, but hers said something different. Special personnel shelter-in-place order. 1-star warrior Su Chinga. Due to your pregnancy status, you are exempt from deployment. Remain at home. Await further instructions. My wife grabbed my shirt with trembling hands. But she's not weak. She took a breath, straightened her spine, and said, go. Something huge is happening. I'll be fine. We have months of supplies, top-floor security, and I won't leave the apartment. I looked at her. Really looked at her. Then nodded. No speeches. No dramatics. I walked to the weapon cases. Click. Click. The Series 40 liquid alloy armor sealed around my body like a second skin. Cold, sharp, perfect. Spear in one hand. Shield locked on the left arm. Short sword on my hip. I kissed her forehead hard. Wait for me. Then I was out the door. In the elevator, every floor added more people. Anxious faces. Combat gear. Nervous whispers. When Jiangnan stepped in and saw the 3-star badge on my chest, she literally choked. Chun Wai, morning. The elevator kept filling. 1 stars, 2 stars, all pale and tense. And without anyone saying a word, they instinctively shuffled aside to give me space. Not because I asked. Because in a crisis, a 3-star warrior is the closest thing to a security blanket these people have. I was reading Lung Yu's message. Neighboring Jinshan City's outer defenses have been breached. A beast tide has erupted from the mountain forests. Satellite imagery confirms a beast emperor, beyond 7-star, is leading the charge. Jinshan City has gone dark. All communication lost. All Nanjiang warriors 3-star and above. Mobilize immediately for Jinshan City reinforcement. You're leading a 5-person squad. Luo Feng, Lin Xia, plus 2 2-star warriors. You are squad captain. Do not be reckless. I stared at that message. Beast Emperor. Beyond 7-star. An entire city gone silent. And they were sending me. A secretly 4-star warrior with a 3-star badge, armed with gear I'd owned for 12 hours, leading a team that included a guy who thought poking bears was art. I looked at my reflection in the elevator's metal wall. Full battle armor. War spear on my back. Shield on my arm. Well, I muttered to myself, yesterday I was worried about being broke. Today I might be dead, at least I won't be bored. A beast emperor. Beyond 7-star. Leading an army of tens of thousands of monsters to flatten an entire city. And they were calling in every warrior 3-star and above to go stop it. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Just another Tuesday. I gripped my new spear so hard the metal creaked. Yesterday, I was furniture shopping. Today I might be dying. The elevator hit the ground floor, and I stepped into chaos. Thousands of warriors packed into the assembly hall, and every single face said the same thing. I might not come home tonight. Gone were the cocky attitudes and lazy stances. Just grim, silent soldiers. I walked in wearing my Series 40 liquid alloy armor, and the whispering started immediately. Is that Series 40 gear? That's for 4-star warriors. The weight alone is 1,000 pounds. Check his badge, 3-star mid-level. How old is this kid? I ignored all of it and headed straight to my squad's rally point. Luo Feng was already there. The man who once called me a brute and declared his only opponent was himself. He looked at my 3-star badge, looked at my armor that cost more than his apartment, and his hand literally shook. Ch Chun. Captain. The word came out of him like he was swallowing glass. Lin Xia was the same. Eyes down. Voice small. Captain Chun. 2-star Lin Xia. Reporting. The other 2 squad members were a pair of middle-aged brothers. 1 shield, 1 shield sword. Practical men. They took one look at me and saluted instantly. At your command, Captain. I kept it short. I'm Chunyi. We're heading to the outer perimeter of Jinshan City. It's already a meat grinder. One rule in my squad, follow orders. No heroics. I paused. Let my thunder-breathing pulse once. Just a tiny vibration. Every person nearby felt their heart skip. Break that rule, and I'll deal with you myself. Then Lung Yu appeared like a blue comet streaking across the hall. Her aura was volcanic, barely contained destruction. Everyone on the transports. Jinshan City's first defensive line has collapsed. Millions of civilians are evacuating. Our mission is to hold South Sky Bridge for 3 hours while they escape. Someone in the crowd whimpered. That's a suicide mission. It's our duty. Lung Yu's eyes could have cut steel. Move. The ceiling opened up. Hundreds of heavy transport ships roared to life and launched into a sky stained with smoke and blood. Inside the transport, I sat down and my watch buzzed. Chinga. Honey, I drank one of the nutrient vials. I feel strong. The babies and I will keep getting stronger. Please, come home safe. I squeezed my spear and stared out the window. Jinshan City, once called the Golden City, was burning. Skyscrapers collapsed like dominoes. The evacuation highway was a crawling nightmare of bumper-to-bumper cars. And on the other side of the city, a black wave was rolling across the horizon. Tens of thousands of beasts. So many that their stampede kicked up dust clouds that blotted out the sun. Every time they surged forward, another city block ceased to exist. 30 seconds to South Sky Bridge drop zone. Lung Yu's voice crackled over the intercom. Airspace too dangerous for landing. All warriors prepare for combat drop. Lin Xia went pale. Jump from this height? I'm only 2-star. I'll break every bone. I stood up. Didn't clip into any safety cable. Just grabbed my spear. Stay behind me. Open the hatch. Boom. The door blasted open. Wind and smoke and screaming metal filled the cabin. I looked down. 1,000 meters below, South Sky Bridge stretched across a massive river, humanity's last choke point. Thousands of civilian cars jammed the bridge. And on the far side, hundreds of giant Fong demon wolves had already smashed through the barricades and were charging toward the traffic. A one-star warrior with a missing arm was slumped against a pillar, watching wolves sprint toward the nearest car full of families. He closed his eyes. That's when I jumped. No parachute. No cable. Just a man in black armor falling from the sky like a meteor aimed directly at the center of the wolf pack. Boom. I hit the bridge so hard the concrete exploded in a 20-meter spider web of cracks. The shockwave turned every wolf within 10 meters into red mist. Just gone. Vaporized. The one-armed warrior opened his eyes. Through the settling dust, standing in a crater on the shattered bridge, was one guy in black armor, holding a dark purple spear, surrounded by absolutely nothing that was still alive. Me. And I was just getting started. Dust cleared. I was kneeling on one knee in a crater of my own making, spear planted beside me like a flag. Slowly stood up, shook off the impact energy like it was rainwater. 3-star warrior Chunyi. I'm taking command of South Sky Bridge, west side. My voice wasn't loud, but with thunder breathing backing it. Every syllable hit like a gong. Every survivor on that bridge heard it. Reinforcements. Nanjiang's main force is here. The screaming crowd erupted in desperate hope. Beautiful sound. No time to enjoy it, though, because the wolf pack behind me was furious about their liquefied friends. Dozens of giant Fong demon wolves launched at me simultaneously. Claws out, fangs dripping, the works. I swung my spear in a single horizontal arc, 20-meter sweep. Azure Dragon Spear intent fused with 9-layer thunder kill speed. Schlick, 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 schlick. Every wolf in midair got bisected. Just cut clean in half. It rained blood and wolf halves like the world's worst piñata party. Luo Feng and the squad landed behind me. When Spear Boy saw the carpet of wolf corpses and me standing alone in front of them like a one-man army, whatever was left of his ego packed its bags and moved to another country. Luo Feng. Lin Xia. Guard the flanks. Keep flying beasts away from the civilian vehicles. Go. They scrambled without a word. Good. No more attitude problems. Funny how mass slaughter fixes interpersonal issues. But I wasn't watching them. I was staring through the fog at the other end of the bridge. Something big was coming. Tum, tum, tum. Each footstep shook the bridge like an earthquake. Abandoned tanks were getting kicked aside like tin cans. Then it emerged from the smoke, a hardshell behemoth. Body like a small building, covered in rock-like armor plates, glowing red eyes locked directly on me. 4-star, early stage. Leader class beast. Captain, fall back. That's a behemoth. 3-star warriors can't break its armor. Some veterans screamed behind me. 3-star can't, huh? Good thing I'm not actually 3-star. I stopped holding back. Pushed my energy to 40%, full 4-star output. Then I charged. Straight at the living mountain. A kilometer away, Lung Yu saw this on her monitor and actually stood up from her command chair. Chun Wai, retreat. Static. Her order never reached me. Communication jammed. Convenient. The behemoth wound up its right fist, a boulder-wrapped wrecking ball the size of a car, and slammed it down at me with enough force to split the bridge in half. To everyone watching, this was the moment the brave young warrior died. To me, that punch was full of openings. Anatomy mastery plus elite combat techniques plus 40.1% development meant I could see every flaw in its attack like reading a children's book. Then ding. Partner Suchinga is consuming purple crystal nutrient solution while running thunder breathing at maximum. Gene development 1%. A surge of hot energy flooded my body. My wife, sitting at home drinking her expensive juice, just gave me a power boost in the middle of a boss fight. This woman's timing is impeccable. Mountain River Shield Guard. Left arm up. Shield deployed. Boom. Fist met shield. The sound wave shattered every window within 100 meters. The entire South Sky Bridge swayed. Steel cables groaned. The road cracked beneath my feet into 2 deep craters. But I didn't move. Not 1 centimeter. A 4-star behemoth's full power punch, caught by one arm and a shield. He caught it. Lung Yu was on her feet, ice-cold composure completely gone. With one hand, my turn. The beast's arm was still extended. Old force spent. New force not ready. The window. I pulled my spear back, aligned my entire spine, hips rotating, every muscle fiber firing in sequence, cloud-piercing thrust. The spear tip found what I was looking for, a hairline crack in the rock armor at the throat. The one gap in its entire defense. Because I've butchered thousands of beasts and I know exactly where armor fails. The spear went in like a hot needle through wax. Through the throat. Through the windpipe. Out the back of the neck. Break. I channeled tiger leopard thunder breathing through the spear shaft. Pure destructive vibration straight into the beast's insides. Then I ripped the spear out and slid backward. A column of dark red blood, thick as a tree trunk, boiling hot, actually corroding the road surface, erupted from the wound. The bridge was literally smoking. The behemoth went berserk. Dying rage. Its fists swung wildly, smashing cars, cracking the bridge, destroying everything within reach. I'd seen this before at the slaughterhouse, the death throes of a massive beast. Maximum danger. Everyone behind the support pillars. Now, I danced around it like a matador, staying in its blind spots, dodging debris, using my shield to bat away a flying car door at one point. Just patiently waiting for the clock to run out on this thing's life. Its movement slowed. The roars became wheezes. The rock armor turned gray. Blood pooled beneath it like a crimson lake. One last swing. Weak. Pathetic. Then crash. The behemoth dropped to its knees in front of me. Head hit the ground. Silence. A 4-star leader-class beast, dead at my feet. Blood flowing down the bridge cracks into the river below. Every survivor on South Sky Bridge, soldiers, warriors, civilians in their cars, stared at the blood-soaked figure in black armor holding a dark gold spear, standing over a mountain of dead monster. Nobody breathed. And somewhere back home, my pregnant wife was sipping purple juice, completely unaware she'd just helped me kill the biggest thing on this bridge. Best support character in the game. No contest. A 4-star leader beast. He just killed it. Luo phone was shaking. Good. Healthy response. Comms crackled back to life. Lung Yu's voice, and for the first time ever, it was not calm. Chunyi. You killed it. I flicked blood off my spear. Obstacle cleared. Teacher. 3 full seconds of silence. Then heavy breathing. The Ice Queen was having a moment. Don't move. Stay defensive. Third wave reinforcements arriving in 5 minutes. She knew exactly how insane that fight was. The hardshell behemoth's defense rivaled 5-star beasts. I was officially 3-star, and I'd bled it dry in minutes without taking a scratch. That doesn't compute in any normal person's math. But I wasn't celebrating. The wind from across the bridge stank of something worse coming. Everyone, build a barricade now. Luo Feng, Lin Xia, push those wrecked trucks to the center of the bridge. Zero hesitation from my squad this time. They moved like their lives depended on it. Which they did. Behind us, the civilian convoy was accelerating. Families pressed against car windows, staring at me standing next to a dead monster the size of a house. Some kids had their faces smushed against the glass, eyes full of wonder. Little dude, I appreciate the fan support, but please tell your dad to drive faster. Ding. Partner Su Chinga, driven by extreme worry, forcefully broke through a meridian barrier. Gene development 1%. This woman. She was at home, pregnant, worried about me, and her anxiety was so intense it triggered a cultivation breakthrough. Then the 10 times feedback hit me like a warm tidal wave. My wife levels up through stress. I can't even be mad. That's the most overpowered emotional support system in existence. Or maybe chugging purple crystal nutrient solution like it's Gatorade is the real secret. Either way, another 0.1% for me. Thanks, babe. Keep worrying. Lovingly. Then the sky went dark. Not clouds. Birds. Thousands of black rot vultures with 3-meter wingspans, diving at the evacuation convoy like a feathered apocalypse. They target the weak, civilians, children, anyone who can't fight back. Air attack. Protect the convoy. Lin Xia screamed, slashing at a diving vulture. But these things were smart. Hit and run. Dive, scratch, retreat to altitude. Impossible to pin down with ground weapons. Unless you have a very long stick. Teacher said it best, I muttered. 1 inch longer, 1 inch stronger. I took a breath and started spinning my spear overhead. Azure Dragon Spear, 6th layer. Dragon soars to heaven. The spear moved so fast it created a visible tornado above me. Air screaming, debris flying, thunder breathing channeling through the metal shaft until the wind itself started howling like dragons. Then I became a human anti-aircraft cannon. I didn't aim at individual birds. I didn't need to. The spear's rotation turned 30 meters of airspace into an absolute death zone. Any vulture stupid enough to dive toward the convoy entered my range and instantly became a shower of feathers and meat chunks. Luo Feng's jaw was somewhere around his ankles. Captain, is that a spear or a weather event? 10 years of spear training, and he finally understood what king of all weapons actually meant. It wasn't about poking things. It was about controlling space, dictating who lives and dies within your domain. Blood and feathers rained down as I walked alongside the convoy, spinning my spear like a helicopter blade of death, escorting every car towards safety. Then, boom. Deep in Jinshan City, a 200-story landmark building just collapsed, like someone flicked it over. And rising from the dust cloud, wreathed in dark purple flames, was a shape, 50 meters long, wings that blocked out what was left of the sky. Even from kilometers away, the pressure hit us like a physical wall. Warriors on the bridge froze. Some dropped to their knees, unable to breathe. The air itself felt heavier, like gravity had opinions. The Beast Emperor. I looked up through the smoke and locked eyes with that thing circling above the burning city like a god surveying its kingdom. My hands didn't shake. No sweat. Just my heartbeat getting faster, and not from fear. From excitement. Commander Lung Yu. I spoke into comms. Where's backup? Because that big guy up there. It just started moving. Lung Yu's voice crackled through my earpiece, and for the first time, she sounded genuinely scared. That's the Purple Flame Thunder Eagle. King-class ruler of the Jinshan Forbidden Zone. 8-star peak. Don't even look at it. Its pressure alone will shatter a low-rank warrior's mind. 8 stars. 8. The strongest person in all of Nanjiang is also 8-star. This bird was basically a flying nuclear weapon with feathers and an attitude problem. I didn't freeze, though. I spun my spear faster, cleared the last wave of vultures, and screamed at my squad. Full speed across the bridge. Don't look back. Luo Feng and Lin Xia were shaking like leaves, but seeing me standing there unmoved gave them just enough courage to keep their legs working. Funny how that works. My knees were fine, but that's because I'm secretly 4-star and too stubborn to show fear. Then the cavalry arrived. Hundreds of missiles streaked across the sky and slammed into the Thunder Eagle. Explosions everywhere. Didn't actually hurt it. The purple flame shield just ate the missiles like snacks, but it got distracted. 3 gold-plated warships screamed overhead, and from one of them, a figure jumped. A deep blue streak plummeting from hundreds of meters up, trailing a golden arc of spear light 100 meters long. Sonic booms popping like firecrackers behind him. 7-star minimum. Grandmaster level. This absolute legend carved a wall of pure battle energy across the sky, a kilometer wide, and caught every single lightning bolt the Thunder Eagle threw at us. Then he rocketed straight into the beast, and they started fighting in the clouds like gods having a disagreement. Every impact cleared the fog for miles. The sky was literally being rearranged up there. I let out a breath I didn't know I was holding. Grandmaster's handling the big bird. We might actually survive T. A blue figure dropped from a passing warship and landed beside me. Lung Yu. She wasn't looking at the sky battle. She was looking at me. And her expression went from concerned teacher to what the hell in about half a second. Chunyi. You. Her voice was trembling. 6-star warriors can sense energy signatures like radar. And what she was reading off me right now was not 3-star. 4-star? You've reached 4-star? How many secrets are you hiding? Great question, teacher. Unfortunately, the universe chose this exact moment to interrupt. Boom. The Thunder Eagle, furious at the Grandmaster, flapped its wings and unleashed a storm of purple lightning bolts the size of trees. Several of them aimed directly at the bridge, at the civilian convoy. Lung Yu didn't hesitate. She shoved me aside, raised her ice blue spear, and generated a wall of frozen energy to block the incoming apocalypse. 6-star versus 8-star spillover damage. The ice wall lasted about 1 second. It shattered like glass. The impact hit Lung Yu full force. She flew backward, blood spraying from her mouth, crashing directly into my arms. Her combat suit was soaked red. Her energy was chaotic, meridians burned by purple fire, consciousness fading fast. Teacher. I caught her. She was broken, physically, energetically. A 6-star powerhouse reduced to a ragdoll by one stray attack from that monster in the sky. She grabbed my arm with blood-slicked fingers. Eyes barely open. Voice a whisper. Run. You're a monster. You're Nanjiang's hope. Take the civilians and go. I'll hold them off. That's an order. Behind her, across the bridge, the beast tide sensed her weakness. Thousands of monsters surging forward. And leading the charge, multiple commander-class beasts as strong as the behemoth I'd just killed. Not one. Several. I looked at the dying woman in my arms. Looked at my squad. Looked at the convoy of families trying to escape. Then I handed Lung Yu to Lin Xia. Take her. Take everyone. Run. Full speed. Don't stop. Captain, you can't stay alone. There are thousands of. That's an order. Move. I let my thunder breathing loose. Full power. No suppression. The roar that came out of me shook the bridge so hard Lin Xia's ears started bleeding. She grabbed Lung Yu, grabbed the squad, grabbed the last civilians, and ran. Lung Yu, fading in and out, managed to open her eyes one last time. Through blurring vision, she saw my back. One man, black armor, gold spear, standing alone at the mouth of the bridge, facing down an ocean of monsters. Don't die, she whispered. Then she passed out, and I turned to face the horde. Thousands of beasts. Multiple boss-level monsters. One bridge. One guy? Honestly, the math was terrible. But somewhere back home, my pregnant wife was chugging purple crystal like a champion and literally powering me up in real time. My gene development was climbing with every minute she trained. So yeah, the math was terrible, but my math was different. I planted my feet, raised my spear, and grinned behind my helmet. All right, you ugly bastards. Line starts here.